In this episode, we sit down with Mat Holland, a seasoned carp angler who's created his own bait brand, Max Attracts Baits, and his own clothing line, X Marks the Spot. Hit the like button, leave a comment, and remember to subscribe to the podcast. Let's dive in. Welcome to the Tuna Gear podcast, another episode. I'm Andy. Unfortunately, we don't have Danny here today. He's off getting his bumhole bleached. But we do have Matt, who skipped the bumhole bleaching exercise and very kindly came in. Mat Holland, welcome.
Cheers, mate. Thanks a lot for inviting me in.
No, thank you for coming down. So, Matt, you have Max Attracts Baits and X Marks the Spot clothing, carp brand.
Yep.
Heavily, I've never met somebody who loves carp fishing quite as much as you do. We've known each other for too long. Far too long. 5, 6, 7 years, something like that.
Yeah, possibly.
So
back when you actually carp fished.
Back when I actually carp fished, yes, for my sins. Something that I'm still... The bug still sits there with me. It scratches away every so often, and I watch something online and I'm like... Oh,
I need to go.
I need to go.
Dust the rods off.
Yeah, you recently gave me some bait when I went to Belgium.
Yeah.
When I tested some of that, tested it, it's already out. Went and used some of it over there. Didn't get to do the sort of fishing. But we met through our mutual friend, Sean.
Yeah.
A.K.A. Captain Blank.
Yeah, Captain Blank a lot.
The busiest carp fisher that you've ever met in your life. Yeah. Nobody lives and breathes it as much as he does. So you've pretty much done most of it through carp fishing, from just being an angler to managing lakes.
Yep.
And then full circle to now doing the bait in the clothing.
Yep.
Where did carp fishing start for you?
Oh, mate, many years ago. Back in Essex, where I was born, obviously carp fishing was a much bigger environment down there in Kent and those areas. So, and my dad was a carp angler. So the only thing he left me when he buggered off was carp fishing. So yeah, the only thing I got to be sort of grateful. And kind of part of my ethos with this company actually goes back to being that little boy when I was a carp angler with my dad, standing there at midnight rolling boilies by hand in his kitchen, as fresh as you could get them, with even a JPS hanging out of his mouth, and me stood there one at a time. No, that's not round enough. Yeah, that's better. You know, and doing that all night. My dad would only ever make bait the night before we went fishing. He would literally make everything fresh, and he'd roll a pound of boilies, as we did back then. A pound of boilies.
Pound, yeah. Kilos.
Yeah, and we'd roll a pound of boilies as it was back then, and then we'd roll it all up, and we'd put it on the draining board, on the tea towel, and we'd leave it to dry for a few hours, and then we'd get in the car at 6 o'clock in the morning, off we'd go for 48 hours on one of the Great Lakes up there, Darrenth, or Shotgate as it was back then, or some of the fisheries around there, which and he used to go up to Waveney Valley and places like that. So he was quite big in the carp thing.
Yeah, I was going to say he's proper carp.
Yeah, he was.
This isn't going down your average day ticket back then.
No,
this is
we was back in the early days of syndicates and a lot of pioneering. When I looked at the manor when it was just literally a round bowl before they even put any fish in it. As a kid with my dad, I think I was probably about 9 or 10 then. Went out to Southend Airport, looked at a few lakes out that way as well with him. So yeah, he was proper into the carp scene, if you like, fishing like say Darrenth Valley, Tip Lake, Long Lake, and places like that. So he was and I just the passion became from him, I suppose, and sort of grew within me, and I started fishing a lot of the day ticket lakes, so I couldn't get to those places. So I grew up in Essex fishing places like Northlands Park and Aquatels and places like that, which had some big fishing back then. There were some good doubles and some 20s in there, you know, which as a teenage kid, which I used to be able to walk to these lakes from my house. It was a good couple of miles, but I did it every week. You know, that's I think. That level of passion back then is still with me now. I mean, I'm not going to walk for 2 miles with my kit, but you know that desire to want to go carp fishing has never left me from that day. You know, dragging a granny's shopping trolley behind me with a 5 kilogram gas bottle in there, because that's all you could get to go fishing for 48 hours, and getting to the lake and getting the rods out. That's that passion, that desire. That's still there. It's just now fine tuned a bit more, and that's why I fish where I fish these days, really.
No, I that's one of the things that whenever we spoke about fishing, you can tell that passion is in there. When I phoned you up to do the podcast, you were up in Reading somewhere.
Yeah.
You just had one of the one of the better fish as well.
Yeah, I've had some good fish out. I'd love to be able to show you and tell you, but the place I fish now, it's no publicity, strictly no publicity, and it's kind of nice really because I can step away from this and it's just my fishing, and it's just me. There's no egos, there's no ultra selling, there's no nothing. It's just I can just go fishing. I've had a good season this, good spring already on there. I've had some of the better fish out, 40 plus pounders. So some
all on your own bait.
Yeah. All on a pro fish this year. Yeah, I've been using a pro fish. It's a water that's sort of got a lot of natural food in there. So I wanted to kind of go along the lines of mimicking and putting a bait in that would be accepted as a natural food source. There's loads of places for the fish to hide. It's full of weed. There's big snags in there. There's all sorts. There's lots and lots.
How big is it?
It's just under 30 acres.
Oh, nice bit of water.
Yeah, gene clear, and then literally tap water clear. Big
gravel pit.
Yeah, big dark gravel, big gravel pit, big dark fish in there, old. So yeah, some lovely fish in there.
Seen everything, haven't they? Had everything.
Yeah, definitely, mate. And it's been some great anglers that have angled from over the years. Some of the top names out there have been on there over the years and fished for them. And so I feel quite honoured to have a place in history really, and fishing in that place in particular. But the Reading area in particular, I fished quite a lot over the last sort of 12 years, 13 years I've been on the road. Even though I live in the southwest, I've sort of been travelling up that way because I have a bit of a love affair with Dinton for 7 years.
Yeah.
Fished on white swan. I was lucky enough to have some good fish out of there. I had the twin at 45, long common just under 40, and a few of the other 30s and 20s in there. I didn't find it easy. It was a massive learning curve, and I had to really.
There's some top boys on those waters.
Mate, they're hard. They're really, really hard, mate. And you're testing your own mental ability rather than your physical ability. If I'm honest with you, they're really, really draining. I was working 5 days a week actually then, as a gas engineer. So I'll be the last man on a Friday. Get there 9 o'clock on a Friday sometimes, walking around not trying to find fish, trying to find a gap, so I could get 2 rods out for the evening, rather than trying to find fish. So you're always up against it when you're not in that situation where you're on fish, and then 9 times out of 10, I'd sit there for 24 hours, maybe 36 hours, waiting for another gap where there was fish. And then I'd literally get the last 12 hours, 14 hours on fish and get a chance, maybe.
You're fishing against the angler as much as
No,
you're
very much so. I did 4 years on white swan. I did the first winter on white swan, and I did 3 years on there. And then I moved across to black, thinking that being a bigger lake at 96 acres, I'd have more scope to be able to get on fish and quicker. But the way it panned out on there was actually worse than white swan. Because the fish stacked up in one area for such a long time, on the back end of winters and coming into spring when they were at the top weights, there was only really sort of 7 or 8 swims which dominated the whole of the area where the fish would be for months. And you couldn't get them. Yeah, you just couldn't get them. I mean, like I say, being the last man on every time, I used to take holidays for Monday so I could get the Sunday night and stay Sunday nights, take a half day on a Monday. I would leave Denton at 6 o'clock in the morning, drive straight back to Devon, get home for 9 o'clock, 9:30, quick a shower in the work van, being work for 10 o'clock on a Monday.
So you are the original weekend warrior.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I was. Yeah, completely. Literally every weekend or every weekend I could on the road and up, on a Friday evening travelling one way and on a Sunday or Monday coming back the other way. So
I can appreciate how hard that was. So when I was fishing diggers up in Columpton, nowhere near as busy, nowhere near the size, but I used to sneak off through work. I used to put in the diary that I'll be on surveys, or we're going off to do a post. We had the big post office contract. We're doing a rip out in a post office, and I'll just go fishing through the week. And about Friday lunchtime, the weekend boys started turning up.
Crazy times.
Yeah, and you'd literally see lads just running through the gate with a bucket in their hand.
Yeah.
Just, have you seen anything? Have you seen anything? And I was at that stage. I was packing up, ready to go home for the weekend because I couldn't. It's such a battle to fish with through those guys.
Yeah.
Especially if you know you're not on fish, it's the most soul destroying.
A lake changes. I mean, I'm lucky now. My life's changed a little bit. I say I'm lucky. Because of my health, it had to change. So I had to sort of take a step back from working and doing what I was doing because it was basically killing me. So I'm lucky now. I can sort of pick and choose what days I want to go fishing. And I fish 9 times out of 10. I fish a Sunday, Monday, or a Monday, Tuesday now. So, and lakes are different. They do, the fish respond different in the week. You know what I mean? It is different, completely different to fishing the weekend. You can see the pressure gets on a lake on the weekend. You can see the fish move into the out of bounds areas or into the big weed beds. You know what I mean? And it's only the odd 1 or 2 fish comes out. You fish on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. All of a sudden, you start seeing fish that boshing. And you start seeing them in areas underneath your rod tips coming from underneath. Crikey, I've never seen that.
We had that in Cherry Lakes. We went up to Cherry Lakes for a week. One of the, they've got like 3 lodges on the lake. And I got up there sort of half new. I'd been up there a few times, and he let me come in early on the. I think it was the Monday. You couldn't like start till 3. I got there at like 10 in the morning, and he's out there in the boat. This is like a rock solid holiday venue, basically. He's out there in the boat, and the fish are coming around the boat. They're up in the margins. They're showing. As soon as that gate started going from like 2:30 onwards, gone.
Yeah.
Didn't see a fish stick its head out until they almost know the rotations of people coming in and out. It's spooky how busy it is.
But I've been on Black Swan opened my eyes a lot because it's the first time I've been out to fish a lake with a boat. So getting out on the water and watching how fish react to people and anglers and baits, as crazy it was, you could be rowing around there and you get 5 £30 fish swim past you. Completely, absolutely happy to be there. You could be going along and all of a sudden a leader lands, they're gone. That the noise of a lead landing was synonymous to them with danger. Gone.
Who was the guy? We were fishing on that place out the back of Harberton. What was it called? The little lake. Sean was there. You were there. You ran it for a little while.
Oh, Waglands.
What was the name of the old farmer? Warwick.
Warwick, yeah.
So Warwick told me something that always stuck with me. Like I was trying to stalk these fish out, and he's come up behind me and he's laughing at me, and he's like, "Fish are like cattle." He goes, "I drive into the field on the tractor. They stare at me. They don't go anywhere. As soon as I get off the tractor, they know there's something going on. They're gone."
Yeah.
He's like, "You can walk around that lake with nothing in your hand, and you're absolutely fine. But you start walking around with a fishing rod in your hand, them fish are like, see you later, gone."
Because it's alien to them.
Yeah.
They know their environment 24/7. They know where all the shadow lights are. They know where the sun comes through the trees. They know where the wind hits. They know all those things. That's part of their natural environment. The minute you put something on there that's alien to them, you see them. Their fins go out. They go stiff. They act completely different. It's completely alien to them. And that's why I think a lot of the places that I fish are so hard because they are so literally indoctrinated almost into that way. There's so many snags and places they can go and hide, and the minute the angling pressure goes up, that's it. It becomes a different place,
This is one of the reasons I wanted to get you on this, because predominantly we've done all sea fishing stuff on here so far.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of lads that probably look at sea fishing and they think, "Oh, it's carp fishing. They're all in a lake. They're not going anywhere. It's an easier thing to catch."
Yeah.
But like you've just those carp are old in their wiley.
I'm not going to sit here and say that they're uncatchable. I'm not going to sit here and say that. I'm not. I've been around a long time. And I know a lot of stories, and I've heard a lot of good friends of mine that I trust who've told me certain things. One of a little story. I was telling a friend of mine, we was going out to Belgium to fish, your stomping ground. We was going out to a lake out in Belgium, and this guy's a well-known angler. He owned a massive company in the 80s and 90s, absolutely massive. He's now a fish farmer. And I was telling him about a fish that I watched spin a rig up. And I was telling him a story. So basically what happened, we was out of France, on a big lake in France, owned by a well-known English carp company owner. Everybody knows me, knows that I don't.
You weren't on Gigantic.
I was, yeah.
You were on Gigantic?
Yeah.
Jesus, man, I didn't see that one.
That leads.
Did you get a personal invite from Danny, did you?
That leads on to the story of that what actually happened there.
What, Codgate?
Yeah. So that leads on to that one, actually. That's how it all sort of come about, because I was out there fishing. But we watched a fish, literally sitting in a bush watching this fish one afternoon, drinking red wine. And this fish upended, and it had the rig in its mouth. And I said to my mate, if I was on a walkie-talkie now and you was around the other side and I went strike, I said, "You'd have that fish." He went, "Yeah, but this is the most important thing. Watch." And this fish literally upended and it span on the spot. Literally span on the spot. Didn't move the lead, just literally the weight of the... And what he'd done was it twisted up the hook link until the hook link was so twisted, there's no more giving it, and the hook went pop, straight out of its mouth.
So it actually hooked itself?
Yeah, it hooked itself. We sat and watched it, right? Middle of the bottom lip. And it spun itself up. Yeah? Literally spun itself up on the spot. £60 fish. Spun itself up. And literally watched the hook go out of his mouth, and then it fed.
Didn't even register a bleep.
Not a bleep, nothing, mate. Didn't move the lead. 5 ounce lead sat there. We watched the lead. Didn't move the lead. Just literally the length of the hook link.
Just on a lead clip system.
Yeah, just literally just spun it around. From that day onwards, I always incorporated some sort of anti-spinning device in my rigs. I've done it ever since, and I'm convinced it's made a difference. I am convinced, as well as the bait, but I'm convinced that that's made a big difference in my fishing. So we were on the ferry on the way over to Belgium, and I was telling this story to my mate. And he's, it's bullshit, I've never seen that. I've been around carp. I said, "Mate, listen, I've been around carp fishing a long time. I know where you come from. I know what you've been about. I said, I know you've got a lot of friends in carp fishing higher up the chain." I said, "Mate, I'm telling you it happened. I watched it. No reason I can sit here and lie to you. There's no reason I'm going to sit on a podcast and tell this story if it isn't true." We was in Belgium anyway, and he was on Lake 1, I was on Lake 2. A bit of a shit week, if I'm honest with you. My mum had not long passed, and I was just went out there to sort of hide away from everybody and one of those. So I wasn't really very sociable that week. Wednesday, I thought I'd go around and see him and have a cup of tea. And I got around and he went, I want to show you something. What's that? He said, give me this rig. And he was all twisted out. He went, you was fucking right. I said, I told you, mate. I said, so that happened in on a French fishery. It just happened to you in a Belgian fishery. I said, don't think it's not happening on English fisheries. I said, they know how to do it, mate. I said, them wily old buggers on the lakes we fish in now, I said, they know how to get rid of them rigs. They know how to do it. From that day onwards, and I'm telling you, it's the biggest game changer in my fishing. I completely changed the way my lead setup is, and I completely changed so put some sort of anti-twist so they cannot pick up and twist that rig at all.
So this is, although you do the bait, I know your rigs are something that you're particularly passionate about.
It's part of the mechanism.
100%. Because whenever I'll be sat there, like I love fishing a heady safe, boom. And then I love a Ronnie rig. Like I'm just not even going to lie about it. Like I think they're brilliant rigs. But you would, because you were doing like the whole elasticated rig stuff.
Yeah. So
before I saw like Jim Shelley talking
about
it.
So I call it the Bonnie rig. So it's the bungee Ronnie. So basically, I've taken the Ronnie rig and my original bungee rig, and I've combined the two. And I've made my own version of that, and everybody I've given it to have gone, wow.
Is it on any of those vlogs? Have you not really talked about
it? No, because to be honest with you, until today it's been mine and a few friends, and it's been a big edge, been a real big edge of my fishing.
So does that stop? So as soon as that fish tries to do anything with the hook, that bungee,
you just push it.
It's just pulling it back every single time.
Basically, if you think about a pole fisherman, when they're pole fishing, they can fish with really, really light lines, elasticated tips, right? Yeah, and you can literally watch them just pulling fish in. Yeah, 10-pound carp, let it. Yeah, and you think, how's he done that? You know what I mean? Because the elastic's taken all of that stretch and all of that strain and all of that pressure off of it. But what he's done is actually exerted the pressure from. And this kind of goes back to what we just said there about the cog lead, about how that principle works. It puts all the pressure back on the hook, but it keeps it
picking the lead up from the heaviest point of the lead instead of on a lot of those lead clips when they get that take. It's
too much movement. It
picks up the lightest end of the Again, with the helis are the same. I was always fishing a weedy.
Only if you fish them as they're made. If you adapt them the way I fish them, they're different.
Because what's his name?
I'm a
he did the hermit rig. What's his name?
Steve Reynard.
Yeah, so he's got like an elasticated.
Yeah, so I've played with that rig. Yeah, I played with that rig years ago.
It's like it's a withy pool rig, isn't
it? Yeah, but basically the hermit rig is basically it works in a similar principle to the bungee rig, but the elastication part of it is inside the lead, basically, where mine is part of the rig itself. Yeah. They're kind of they're a play on each other really, but I personally think mine's more effective because when I played with the hermit rig, when I looked at it probably 20 odd years ago, when Steve Reynard started sort of publicising it a little bit, I found that it would pop. So once you've got to the point where the pressure point of the elastic has reached to its maximum, it will pop. It will just stay popped. So therefore, you're then just on a normal rig. Whereas mine doesn't do that. My system will carry on being a bungee the whole time you're playing a fish.
Are you ever going to bring this stuff out?
No.
Not interested?
No. I tried it once and I got shit on, so I'm not doing it again.
You tried to go direct to somebody else.
Yeah, I did. But they came direct to me. I didn't go to them. They contacted me. I didn't. It was a weird way. Going back to Gigantica, I was using what became the cog lead out there, my system. And now the design idea behind it originally, the central part of the hooking point, hook to weight ratio, was actually. It was kind of a bonus to what it was designed for originally. So I was fishing long range on a fishery.
What's long range for you?
150s, 160s, 140s, 150s, 160s. So it's around them sort of ranges. But we were using a lot of supple braids then. So there was a lot of places where you needed, especially on this particular fishery, you needed to get 10 yards past the person next to you because you was all fishing the same water to get the fish as they come down.
Yeah, but that's where they were saying.
It was an arm basically. It was like a long arm, but as they came down the long arm, you needed to get the fish to you first and to your baited area before they came to your mate next to you or two swims down, because it came around the arm. So as they came down the arm, they would get fish. But if you got them first and held them there, you'd have all the fish. So you kind of needed to get. But we was all using. soft braids, because soft braids were the thing, Dacrons and stuff like that. You know, they were the braids, and I was trying to find ways of stopping the braid from twisting because it used to twist up. We've gone back a long time now, 25 years ago.
And this is before putting PVA nuggets on the end, which would slow your cast down anyway.
PVA nuggets was well in the future. PVA wasn't even around then, mate. Learn PVA nuggets, crikey. So I started super gluing my hook links halfway down to make them stiff. So I'd have like a stiff.
This is pre-anti-tangle.
Yeah, pre-anti-tangle Steves, pre-anti-tangle tubing, all those sorts of things. We're using C-leads, we're using like tri-lobe leads, we're using zip leads painted black, you know, and stuff like this. We're camouflaging them in a you know, I used to literally have all leads hang up and just go and spray them all, like, you know, to get them all camouflaged and stuff like this, you know. So we're talking long time ago. But to get that stiff section and stop it from tangling back on itself, I was literally using super glue. And then I started using the inside of a.
What? So you're just running super glue?
Just running super glue down the first 6.
Letting it dry.
Yeah,
that was becoming
and that was it was like basically like an anti-tangle sleeve, like a long anti-tangle sleeve, which as we know now. Yeah. So I was literally using that, and then basically you'd have a supple bit, which I worked out the length of it that it couldn't flip round the lead and hook on the lead, and it couldn't flip back up on itself and hook round the line. So it worked perfectly for quite a while, and I was getting the extra distance, and I was getting the extra fish. So it worked really well. But then from then onwards, we sort of moved forward. I wasn't happy with it. I kind of felt like the rig wasn't doing what I wanted to do, and I was looking at the leads. I started looking at leads more than rigs. I actually started to think the lead was more important than the rig, and I changed my mindset on it. And I was looking at whether we were setting the leads up and where they were coming. We were using a lot of running leads and stuff like that, so there was a lot of movement before you was getting pickups. And we stopped getting takes. We were just getting bleeps, bleep, bleep. And then you look, you know, you wind down at the fish and it'd be over there somewhere. It done 30 yards on a tight line to the right or to the left. So
you're still hooking them.
Yeah, you're still hooking them, but you weren't getting any indication. And over night time, you take your mate out, you know what I mean, sometimes. Because it moves on a tight line to the right or to the left, because your hook to weight ratio was terrible. And the movement was too much, you know. And that stayed in my head ever to this day. And my movement between the lead and the hook is minimal. I mean, tiny. You can't, you know, they're there. So I started looking at the leads, and I started looking at leads on the market and all this of it, and I sort of got speaking to a friend of mine. And we actually set up a little lead company called Blender Leads. And again, nobody else was doing this. We were making our leads. We were using different shaped leads than everyone else, and we were double dipping them. So everyone was using plastic coat on leads. We were double dipping them. So the first coat was plastic coat. The second coat was cork dust. And the reason we were using cork dust is because everything used to adhere to it, everything used to stick to it, and they would look like a gnat. They just literally, if you put them in silt, they just go black. They just cover themselves in silt. But the good thing about them was you could pull them in and you go, that stinks, I'm not fishing that spot again. Because you knew the silt was shitty.
Yeah, they hadn't been through that.
Yeah, but when you pulled them in and they were full in clay, you were like, that's the spot. That's the sweet spot.
There's nothing better than that. You pull your own little lead around, you pull it in and you just go,
oh. There's a bit of bloodworm on your hook.
Yeah.
Or the lead smells sweet, you know, or you put a bit of weed in and you're like, oh, that smells of carp. That's well carpy. I'm on the right spot there, you know. So, I mean, we're going back 25 years ago here. So this is kind of pioneering stuff, really, in terms of my fishing. And I was working on the ratio. We were obviously using running leads and sort of early in lines and that sort of thing. I just wasn't happy with the way it was working with the hook point, and so I started drilling my leads out, literally smack bang in the middle. And it was almost like to nowadays they've been inline lead, but they come out in the middle of the lead, not the end of the lead. So that's what I started doing, and I was using a Calder insert, and I was actually bend the insert in, through, and out the other side. So we end up in this situation. You've got a zip lead, basically, 4-ounce zip lead with a hole in the middle of it going through, like a half. If you imagine like a half inline. Yeah. And then you could cut a towel rubber on the top of it, so it worked perfectly. And I was using muscle cracker tubing because there was a lot of muscles in this lake. And it was so streamlined. It was so sleek. But the most important thing was, the minute I picked that hook point up, it was just literally the weight was hanging straight off it, and all that hook point wanted to do was just drop in. And I was like, that's a winner. That's an absolute winner. So that part of it was a secondary to actually. It was more about the anti-tangle, stopping the rig from flying back up, and with that, and it was more about that than anything. So that was the first part of it. Super glued the thing, then the hook. That was it. We was away. And the very few people that I showed it to and that I shared it with, and it was probably only half a dozen people, absolutely creamed that lake. Absolutely creamed it. I mean,
why did you share it?
Where?
Why?
What? Because I needed to. Sometimes you go with a theory that's good, and you know yourself it's good, but you don't want to pat on the back, but you need someone else to say, yeah, you know what, I'm getting the same results you are, mate, and I'm getting the same results you are, you know. And I only shared it with trusted friends, you know what I mean. Jump forward, probably quite a few years later, we were selling these leads for pocket money, basically. And we was, just privately. We didn't have a website. We didn't have a Facebook group. We didn't have anything. We just literally. I was on Emperor now, so we're going forwards a few more years, 15, 16 years ago, something like that. I'd gone on to Emperor Syndicate, and I started to do them on there, and the guys were like, "Wow, these are different. These are really good." And I absolutely creamed Emperor, fishing on there, and I was using the bungee rig as well.
Because there's some pressured fish on there.
Yeah. I'd 32 fish in 18 months. So
these lads have been there 32 years and haven't had.
Yeah, so on the scale of it, I done really well. I remember Dave Lidstone saying to me, "You're not going to be here much longer, are you? Where you're working your way through them all." But it just, I kind of got in tune with it. I was self-employed then. I could do overnighters in between work and move work around and stuff. So a bit like you, I'm off to do a job. I could. I won't be home till late tonight, darling. But I was doing a lot of leg work. I was walking around at midnight with a backpack and I was using a throwing stick because everyone was baiting spots. And I thought, no, it's a 5-acre lake. They're getting all the way around the lake. I want them to find food wherever they can go. So I went, and me and my mate did the same. Me and a mate of mine, we both teamed up, and we were both. I would do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and he would do a Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, or whatever in between. And we just walk around with a backpack at midnight. We just with a throwing stick. Once everyone was in bed, just throw, flicking boilies all around the lake everywhere, and then we drop in into an area, knowing that that area had baited already, and that's all we did. And yeah, we both of us did really, really well, really, really well. I could turn up after work at 6 o'clock, and by 8 o'clock I'd have 3 fish up to mid-30s, and so I said, "Go home." And then people were there for like 5 days and blanking.
Yeah, that's not heard of down there.
No,
it's a tricky
I'm not taking anything away from it. It was a hard lake. It is a hard lake. It's still a hard lake. But just by looking at what everyone else was doing and doing the complete opposite to it, which has always been my thing, I got the best out of it.
So what happened to that lead?
So we went to France. So Gigantic here. Danny Turtle, a good friend of mine, was the bailiff out there at the time, and I didn't fish the first 2 days. I just went around the lake having a drink with the lads and having a drink with Danny and having a chat. And I think it was probably Monday I started fishing, and I put quite a bit of bait out. I thought I was just going to bait up and leave them to it. Another one of them lakes is pressured. It was so Gigantic was called Lake St Christophe, or Lac St Christophe. And I knew of it back then because I'd been going to France for now 30 odd years, and I've been doing some of the publics, and I knew about that place. It was a French-owned sort of semi-public, if you like, and it was rammed every week. I mean, it was a big fish in there. It was 60s and 70s in there, but it was Lac St Christophe. So I knew it had big fish in it, but the swims used to be doubles. So you used to double up with your mate in there, and it was 4 rods each, typical French system. So you could be on Gigantica as it is now back then, and there would be like 106 rods in the lake of a weekend. You know what I mean? It was that sort of numbers, and like 3 fish would come out. It was just ramo all the time. So when it became Gigantica, obviously I knew that they were pressured fish, even though it was a new lake, if you like. Yeah. They'd done lots of work. I knew that they were pressured fish.
Fish don't forget.
Yeah, so I baited for 48 hours and left them, just let them come in and feed, and before I started fishing for them on the Monday. Even though I only had 7 days on the lake, I just thought I'd leave them for 2 days. So for 2 days, I just caught up with people, mates of a mate of mine I hadn't seen since, for a long time. He'd come out and join us on the trip, and I had a couple of guys who I didn't get to fish with very often. So it was just a chance to have a bit of a catch up, really. And it's a holiday, you take your rods on, so go and enjoy it, And then I think it was probably the Monday or the Tuesday, Danny came round to my swim for a beer, and I had my rods up against the bivvy, and he went, "What's that?" I thought, "You don't miss a trick, do you?" And he started laughing. He went, "No, what's that?" I said, "What do you mean?" He went, "What is that?" He's like, "Show me." So I was like, "Show him." He went, "We've been trying to do this for years." I was like, "What do you mean?" He said, "Me and Danny Fairbrass, we've been trying to do this for years." He said, "We went out to South Africa and we did something similar, blah, blah, blah. Would you mind if I got hold of Danny and shared it with him?" And I was like, "I don't know, really." He's like, "Mate, this could be mega. This could be the real deal." And I was like, "Do you know what? Yeah, why not?" And my mate I was making the leads with, very good friend of mine, didn't have a great deal of money, and I thought, if we get a little bit of money for it,
Bit of royalties.
Yeah, or even if we just do a deal for the design, and then we get 30p a lead off it, and you sell thousands of it. I mean, then easy to get some money. I'll get. I'm not worried about the money. I didn't really give a shit about the money, honestly. But I wanted him to have something because he did the legwork basically. He was making all the leads for me all the time, And it was pennies we were making, pennies. There was no profit in it. So, a bit like bait, really. But, it's just something I did because it was the right thing to do in my fishing, and it was about my fishing, and I shared it with people, and it just kind of grew from there, really. And I said, yeah, okay, mate, yeah, go for it. Why not? What have we got to lose? So, I can't believe I'm talking about this story, actually. But, so I came back to England, and I heard nothing. So I thought, oh, that's the end of that sort of thing. And I was at work one day, and a phone went, and it was the owner of Emperor Lakes. He said, all right, mate. He said, got a bit of a weird one. I said, what's that? He said, I've had Danny Fairbrass on the phone trying to get hold of you. I was like, oh, okay, right. He said, do you mind if I give him your number? I was like, yeah, no, it's fine. He said, can I ask what it's about? I said, yeah, mate. So he wants me to be CEO of Calder, mate. He said, he's like laughing. I said, no, I said, it's to do that lead I showed you. So, oh, brilliant, mate. That's fantastic. I hope it works out. So yeah, off he went and gave me my number, and I was expecting a phone call there and then sort of thing, and nothing. So I thought 3 or 4 days, I thought, oh, it's gone, no, forget about it. Probably about a week later, I was at work again, his phone goes, number, hello, mate, it's Danny Fairbrass, and I nearly went, back off. What are you doing ringing me? And then I was like, I know it is, isn't it? Yeah, for a split second, I was like,
one of the mates on the wind-up.
Because
everyone's heard about it.
Mate, my house got sticker bombed. One of my mates went round and put Calder stickers all over my front door when he found out about it all. Like, I mean, he was like, oh, Calder lover and all this. I mean, yeah, he sticker bombed my house. I got him and was like, yeah, okay, fair play. So yeah, I thought it was like one of the lads on the wind-up. Anyway, it wasn't. And he said, look, I'm really, really interested in the product, blah, blah, blah. Danny's told me all about it, and we've tried to do something similar. You know, I'm very much, I'm an angler first. He told me the spiel, and I sort of bought into it a little bit, really. I said, okay. I said, well, I'm coming up in December. I'll come and see you. So that's what I did. I went and had a meeting with Danny and Damien Clark and Adam Penning, and there was another guy there. Apologies if you've listened to this podcast, I can't remember what your name was, but he was the guy that made all their leads for them, basically. And I had this meeting with them. Bear in mind at this time, mind you, I was actually very, very ill. I was on chemo and everything else as well. That's kind of a bit of a backstory, but yeah, I was actually really, really ill at that point. I've been diagnosed with leukemia in the November, and I went to see them in December. So I was on chemo still when I went to see them. So in my mind now, I was kind of thinking, well, I hope I do get something out of this, because I couldn't really do with the money now to pay the mortgage. I'm not working anymore.
Yeah.
I've got a mortgage to pay. It would be nice to get a golden handshake, and it would be nice for Carl as well, and we can sort of close the chapter on it and move on. And so I had this meeting. I sat down for days and days. We made this whole rig board up. I put it all in a wallet. All the lead designs we do, not just that one. Did them all, and had a meeting, and he said, "I've got to be honest." He said, "It's one of the best presentations I've ever seen. You know, I'm really impressed with what you brought in. It, you know, blimey, it's amazing what you do, and the rest of it. But it's not for us." He's like, hey, "It's too complicated. People just won't get it." I was like, "Oh, really? Everyone I know gets it. Everyone I know uses it, catches on it. Why wouldn't they get it?" And he's basically said, "Oh, it's too complicated. People won't get it." So yeah, thanks a lot for your time, rest of it. And I zipped it up and sat in the van on the car. Phoned him out, said, "Nah, it's a no go, mate. They're not interested in it." Blah blah blah. And that was it. Nothing more of it. You know, that was the end of it. Probably 4 months later, 5 months later, I get a phone call from a friend of mine who lives in France, right, of all places. Very good friend of mine, John. I've known for 30 plus years. He owns a stunning lake out in France.
Is that the one you were at recently?
Yeah. I've been going there since day one. So, but I've known John. I served with John in the military. He's a lovely, absolutely beautiful man. And he phoned me. He said, "You ain't gonna believe this, mate." I said, "What's that?" He said, "He's released your lead." I said, "What?" He said, "He's even called it the same name." I was like, "No way." He says, "I'll send you a picture over." And it was a picture, and then called it the cog centre of gravity. And I was like, I didn't even mention that in the meeting, and I was like, "Wow, okay. What do I do here then?" So I fired an email off to Adam Penning and to Danny, and yeah, it wasn't a very nice email, and the response wasn't very nice either. Kind of sort of basically said, "My solicitors are bigger than yours, go away." So yeah, that was the end of that one. Yeah.
It's funny how things happen, isn't it?
Yeah, but you know that
Is that put you off doing terminal tackle after
To be honest with you, mate, it put me off doing a lot of things because this isn't new. You know, the name, the brand, Max Trap Baits, this isn't new. I've done this for 20 odd years, and it's not long, 30 years maybe. I've helped my mates, the same guys I helped with leads, I helped with their bait, you know. I help, you know, people ring me up and they say, "I used to fish such and such lake." And I go, "Yeah. Oh, do you know, yeah, fish this spot, do this, do that, put this bait on." And they go over and they remember, "I've had the biggest fish in the lake out." Yeah, I know. It's not because I'm cocky. It's not because I'm being cocky. I genuinely want to help people, but I've always sort of kept it very sort of low key. The Super G, prime example. It was the fourth bait I brought out, but it was actually the first bait that I made. This was originally called the enzyme because it's built around the garlic enzyme. Yeah, the Super G. It's a mega bait, absolutely mega.
So this is, before we open those, because I know what's going to happen. I know what's coming my way. When did you first sell your own makeup of bait? What sort of time?
That was years ago.
And was it anything in this form? Were you literally just...
No, yeah, I made my own hook baits. I was doing my own hook baits. I've had lots of ties with different companies. I've worked with lots of different people. The best time was Essex Carp Baits, and it's right to mention a very good friend of mine, Simon, because he's still involved with me, and he still makes all my hook baits now for me, purely because of the time it takes to do these hook baits.
So these all your hook baits are hand rolled.
Everything's hand rolled. Yeah, everything in the hook bait range is all hand rolled. All the flavours are bespoke made. I don't buy anything off the shelf, so I won't walk into a tackle shop and buy a bottle of flavour and go and make pop-ups with them. Every flavour is custom made for me, and I don't buy them. I have to buy flavours in
Is it the same supplier that makes not the same supplier, the same bait supplier that you get this from, the same stuff for the bait? Or you
no. So that's another friend of mine does the rolling of the feed bait.
Right. Okay.
So I've got two different friends that do that.
But you don't source the ingredients for this from the guy that you source this from.
No. So this is all completely Simon and me. So the way that Max Trap Baits actually came to light was kind of taking what was an underground bait company and giving it a name basically and putting it out above ground really. COVID kicked off. And I think the world changed for a lot of people, me especially. I was classed as clinically vulnerable, not allowed to work, kicking my heels around at home. I was actually fishing a really, really beautiful, stunning 300-year-old estate lake in Essex at the time. So I was travelling.
Can't travel.
You couldn't travel, so they made us all bailiffs. So I was going up there and doing a week at a time for security. And an otter watch basically.
There was a way around everything.
Yeah, of course.
Chinese food.
Yeah, of course there is. But yeah, so basically, it made me a bailiff because I was furloughed effectively. Couldn't go to work, so I said, well, that's fine. I'll come and do a week at a time. I can mow the grass. I can, check everything, make sure nobody's poaching.
Flick the rods out.
And whilst I'm here, I might have to go for a fish or two.
For health reasons.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I did. And Simon was a London cabbie. That was his actual job. And we met up Christmas time on the banks of this lake in Essex, and he was genuinely worried. He's a bit of a worry anyway, bless him. Even now, he can't believe the success he's had as a company. And he was genuinely worried. He said, "I might go back to making bait." He said, "Simon owned Essex Carp Baits." That's how I know Simon. Yeah. I got to know Simon for another mutual friend of mine when we was at Nash Bait, and so I got to know Simon, and I really, really liked this guy. I thought, you're a bit of me, he's one of them people who just click me straight away. And very, very knowledgeable guy, great bait brain, really good bait brain. And obviously him and I clicked. I met up with Mike Wilmot last year, or year before now actually, and he said something to me, it stuck in my brain. He said, once you're a bait man, you're always a bait man. And I thought, going back to that day.
I am not a bait man. So you're talking to a lad who was perfectly happy fishing sticky manila. On the bait side, my mate's got big dogs. You've seen the tigers, the G-bars.
Lovely products. Very much same ethos as me though.
100% the same ethos as you. And I would, because I was always fishing tigers on the hook bait. Everywhere I fished, not allowed to fish tigers. I used to hide it, so I'd have all my tigers in the bottom of the bucket, and I had a little false compartment. I'd pile all my hookups and stuff on
like a drug dealer.
Yeah. And they'd come round, and I even used to carry bags of
Pablo Escobar of the bait world.
Pablo Escobar, it was, and I'd have just a bag of sticky hanging around, so it looked like I was always fishing something. But I love Manila, and I really they brought out that one that was I'm a bit out of it now. What's the one? The outside of it all fizzed off.
So the active range.
And I really got into that stuff.
I've got a question for you then.
Yeah.
If your bait's active, Why do you need to put an active crust on it?
Mate, they sold me on the marketing.
And that's
If you've got Scotty Lloyd, Gaz Fairham, who else is sticking?
And that's what
Tom Maker.
That's what they're exceptional at. That's what they're exceptional at doing, mate. Is marketing. They are an absolutely marketing whiz, mate. They really are. But if your bait is already soluble and the water penetration levels can push out the flavours and enhancers and attractors within that bait, why do you need something on the outside? I don't understand it, if I'm honest with you. So and I'll tell you why I can quantify.
That's why I'm not a bait man.
Yeah, but I can quantify it by telling you this. All my baits go through. We call it TDS meter readings. So basically, every bait is put in a
TDS.
Yeah, so it's basically the type of meter we use. Okay, so what it does is it tells you the leak off rate of a product within water. Yeah, okay, at a set temperature. Every one of my baits is active down to 4 to 6 degree water temperature. Now the time frame for that increases the cooler the water gets. Okay, does that make sense?
Perfect sense. I'm just thinking about what part of the year, how cold that water is.
Right.
So even at the coldest, like 3 months of the year, you've still got.
I've still got a bait that is active. Okay, but it will take longer to become active. So I did the same readings with some of the bigger companies.
Yeah.
And some of the readings were absolutely atrocious, and I mean atrocious.
Well, there's been something recently about one of these big bait companies, because didn't they have to put their ingredients on it because they were exporting to Europe?
Yeah.
And it turns out that basically.
So because I'm good friends with quite a few French people, and I don't speak French at all. I'm terrible. I'm very lazy.
Mons too.
Yeah, Mons too, Rodney. I do speak a little bit. I can get by. Do you know what I mean? I can go and order a Big Mac. That's fine. And a beer. But
Big Mac.
Yeah, exactly. Well done. Congratulations. I didn't know you were fluent too. But so I've got a lot of friends that live in France, and they obviously they know what I do, and I've been friends with them a long time, and they send me the back of packets, and I go through them, and it's shocking, mate.
Because
when you start,
we don't have to do that over here, do we?
No, you don't. But I'd be happy to. It wouldn't bother me. It wouldn't bother me at all. You don't have to put the inclusion rate. You know what I mean? When you put a recipe on the back of it, there's no inclusion rates in there. There's a percentage, but at the end of the day, you don't know what about. But when you start using things like pasta flours and soya flours and ash in a boilie that's made by one of them bigger manufacturers, and it's high levels. I mean,
I would say probably the biggest name in carp bait.
You're talking 75% of the bait is pretty much rubbish. There's no food source in there whatsoever. So every one of my baits has got a digest aid in them.
So when you've got people like, because one of their biggest names is probably Pecky, how when this bait's basically shit, how are they still?
I'm not saying it's shit because I don't want no one suing me.
Okay.
But
Attraction, it's not shit.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's shit because people go out there and catch fish on it. But what I'm saying is it's not as good for a fish in terms of digestion, and it's not as good for the fish's organs. In their liver, and stuff like that. It's just not as good. It's like you and I eating burger and chips every day. We absolutely love burger and chips, but at the end of the month, mate, you're going to be feeling ill, really, really ill. That Man versus Food, watch that guy, and he just ate shit, and he just ended up really, really, really ill. And that's what you're doing to the fish by giving them crap. And the other thing is, and this sort of leads on to a big part of my fishery management side of it. It's about water quality. It's about the waste, the nitrate that comes up from carp shitting. It's phenomenal when you're passing through them, and that stuff is not getting broken back down again and not being absorbed into the water.
So you get a massive nitrite cycles,
exactly.
Which leads to ammonia in the water.
Exactly. So again, you're getting
my water skills.
Yeah, you're exactly right though. But
it's a nitrogen cycle. Isn't
yeah.
It?
So if you're not getting the breakdown from it, or if they're not taking as much of the product, if you like, and ingesting it and using it and absorbing it, and they're passing out lots and lots of waste, then you get the nitrate spikes, which is why I believe in the springtime, a lot of the time now, we're getting a lot of fatalities because the water temperature's going up, the nitrates are going up.
Because everyone fills it in.
The nitrates are going up, exactly. And the bait's passing through them, but the waste is the waste that comes out of them. Catfish are terrible for you. If you've got catfish in, like your nitrates and they're sky all the time, because they're just shitting all the time. That's what they're just eating machines, just goes in one end and back out the other.
So when you started with this, then you were like, I'm going to make something that A is good for the fish, B good for the water.
My whole aim was to make a product to a quality, not to a price. The price was irrelevant. If I sat down with you and you was my bank manager and I said, this is what I'm going to do, and this is my profit margins, and this is what I'm going to make, and the rest of it, and I want to borrow money to do it, you'd laugh me out the room.
My business coach laughed me out the room when I was telling him about the Tuna Gear product.
Yeah.
He was like, well, where's the sales? Where's this? I was like, no. We're just going to put a big brand mentality into this, and we're going to launch at the highest of standards, and then we'll deal with the profitability in time.
The no compromise tag, if you like, it's kind of a mantra, and it goes back exactly like I said to when I was that kid. My dad's philosophy was roll it as fresh as you can, son.
If you're not rolling for profit and you're rolling it for quality to start with, then that's a good thing.
My theory was that I wanted to set this up in the southwest. I really did. My whole aim was to get the bait out in the southwest.
We're having a quick chat about this before we started, because we are behind the carp fishing curve down here.
My fishing time is sort of Reading and Slough and those areas on the M4 corridor pitch. Fishing gravel, because that's where I want to be. I grew up fishing gravel pits, and I loved fishing gravel pits, the clear water and the gin clear waters, and the weed and the fish, really dark and old and gnarly. I love those sorts of fishing, and that sort of fishing I always have done. You don't get that in the southwest because there just aren't the gravel pits down here. So for my personal fishing, that's where I want to be.
You can find those fish. So like when I was fishing ponds,
definitely.
Like I was fishing this really tricky. It's probably only about 3 acres, but it's an old. They're all old clay pits.
Yeah.
So they're really deep, but they're really snaggy. And I remember I'm banned from racks anyway, so fuck it. And I'm probably never going back. So I was obviously fishing. I was fishing a lot of tigers and stuff in there, and I used to send photos to Dan, and they're absolutely stunning fish. Well, you probably saw.
I did a tuition on there recently for somebody. He asked me, said, "Would you do a tuition?" I was like, "Yeah, why not? Yeah, I'll come and help you, mate. No problem at all." So I went on racks, and I was looking at some of the pictures of the fish, and I've got guys who are my promo team that are fishing racks, and they're catching some nice fish. There's really are some lovely fish in there, mate.
But they're not very big.
It doesn't matter though. I'm not all about size.
No. But this is what I was saying about doing the whole where we are a bit behind the curve down here. When I used to send those photos to Dan, he'd be like, "Those fish are beautiful." But if you've not got anything bigger down there, and I'm like if you, we've got no. We have got some.
You can only catch what's in the pond in front of you.
Yeah,
and in the day.
Unless you want to go onto a syndicate.
Yeah.
And even then, there's a lot of. I call them mud pigs. They haven't got the colour to them.
Pigs in a puddle.
Pale. Yeah,
pigs in a puddle.
Yeah. They're all a bit pale and pasty-ish. And I'd rather catch an 18-pound dark old gnarly common or mirror than I would. I got more enjoyment fishing smaller fishing first.
I took Sean somewhere that I'd never took anybody, and then he took you to the secret little lake, and I'd been fishing that lake for like 25 years.
Oh, those 3 little ponds.
Yeah. I never took anybody. Yeah, I never took anybody there,
yeah.
And then I took him, and then he took you, and I was like, well, that's that done.
He takes me out. Did I say a word?
No, you didn't.
No, I never said a word.
But I've been fishing that place.
Social media.
I've been fishing that place for like 25 years in the winter. I just sneak down and do it like a day, and I'd literally fish 4 or 5 hours.
They are oversized garden ponds.
Yeah, they are. That's all they are. But the fish are stunning, and they're old, and they're dark, and they're gnarly, and they're really, really hard to catch. But it's a great place to go and watch.
I caught one, and to catch it, I belly crawled, because as soon as you got within 5 feet, 10 feet of the lake, you just see bow waves go.
It goes back to what I said before.
I've literally gorilla rolled up to the edge of the lake, and I'm flicking bits of bait off the side. I've crumbed all the boilie right down, rolled backwards, got my little 6-foot sawn off, back up to the edge, and I've gone, and I'm led on my side, alarm, no nothing. I caught one.
Yeah, which is the only way to fish that place.
Yeah,
so I used to set up in between the 2 lakes, if you like, the upper lake and the bottom lake.
Yeah.
I used to set up on the right hand side in between the 2 lakes. So I was off the lake. I used to make everything out of the way. I used to creep down, lower the rod in, like you've just sort of described, lower it in before the sun came round. So the sun was behind me, so I didn't put any shadow on the lake. Then walk back and just sit there and watch it all day long and watch the fish coming in and out. And I'd watch them. They come up to the bait area, and some of them would go. Their fins would go out, and they go all stiff.
No.
Yeah, they go all stiff, and no, don't touch that, and they go off again. Some will just meander over the top of it. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, when that sun hit the right point, bang, you get a take every time. Now, whether that was because the sun was leaving and then we're thinking about leaving the area and going somewhere else, or whether it was because that was the feeding time, I don't know.
I went to that lake once.
But yeah, and
I forgot where it was.
But I fished it for like 25 years. And it was a great place to go and watch them feed in and how their reaction to bait was and all the rest of it. It was absolutely brilliant. COVID kicked off and I went down there, and unfortunately COVID carpers turned up, and a guy turned up and he's got a fluorescent jacket on the same colour as my zingers, and he turns up and I'm in the middle and I'm looking over the top of where the water inlet is, which I cleaned out by the way because it was coming through shitty, so just to make the water go gin clear so I could see the fish. And yeah, "Oi mate, you caught anything?" I said, "No," and I'm not fucking likely to, am I? And I walked down, picked the rods up, and I put them back in a bag, and I picked my chair up and my bucket, and I walked off, and I've never been back since.
See, this is one of the things
Done.
that I really fell out of carp love with carp fishing.
Yeah.
Was that whole everybody's just in your bivvy door. You're sat there you're on some fish. And see much. See much.
I was going to get a T-shirt made saying I've seen nothing, I've caught nothing, fuck off. I was really at that point where
COVID did make it go crazy.
It did. But I appreciate there was a lot of people wanting to get out. A lot of people were stuck indoors. A lot of people want to go
day
fishing.
Fishing though, I really enjoyed that. When they banned us from doing nights, I caught more fish in those day sessions.
I done more nights than I did days because I was a bailiff.
I was doing a few nights to be honest.
Yeah, I think everyone was, mate.
We were guesting.
Yeah, but I mean, in the day, unless you were the Prime Minister having parties, everyone else was supposed to be at home. Come on, behave yourself.
Well, I was guesting on a lake.
I was always going to find a way of getting out, just like every carp angler out there did.
Yeah, you just park 3 car parks down and
Exactly.
walk in.
Yeah, everyone
coming through the rugby club.
You know.
But I'll be down there doing some guesting, and on the nights I'll be fishing, I'll bump into like 5, 6 other guys.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you'd be sat there all quiet, and you just see a little red light come on. You'd be like, "Who's over there?"
I fished Showbrook many years ago, and it's days only. Now it's a 12-acre estate lake up in Crediton. When I fished it was 3 big commons in there, over 40, sort of big fish, and some really good guys on there, really good anglers at the time. Probably the first time I sort of dipped my toe going from being just a general carp angler that was half decent into fishing in my mind, a proper lake. Really hard, days only. And I had an estate car, and I used to keep in my car. So I used to go up on a Friday after work, do the Friday evening, and I'd keep in my car Friday night, and then I'd go up Saturday morning and fish Saturday all day, and then I'd keep in my car Saturday night, and I'd go up Sunday. It's bloody hard work.
Yeah.
But the amount of times, mate, I'd get up there on a Saturday morning, and there'd be people already there, like underneath the oaks. Like, I mean, they'd been up all night. Like, I mean, just sat up against the oak tree, like dead, sleep, like with their rods out, like Oh yeah, just got here, have you? Yeah, mate, just got here. Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, all right, mate.
The only rule in carp fishing to keep is shut the fucking gate.
Yeah.
After that, all bets are off.
Yeah. But so Showbrook was a lovely place, and say I really enjoyed my time on there. I really struggled. But I was doing the night, and it was. In the end, I ended up getting 2 duvet covers and making curtains in the back of my car because I just couldn't sleep. So I was going for free.
As soon as that sun comes up.
It wasn't even that, mate. The road was so busy at night time, and the pub was only down the road, and everyone was coming out and going up the lake for a leg over the missus. So the girls would come past giggling at 12 midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like trying to get my head down for a couple of hours. 4 o'clock, I'm back on the lake. I'm down at the car, and I'm making all the rigs up at the car. I'm putting bags on. I'm doing what I'm doing. The kettle's boiling. I'm steaming everything. I'm putting all the rigs on. I'm doing everything at the car, so I can literally just turn up and go plop, and I'm fishing, like first light. As soon as I'm fishing, I'm fishing. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I was just knackered, mate, absolutely knackered. It was like the first time I kind of proper campaigned the lake, and it burnt me. It really burnt me. And I went back to the big lake for the rest of the summer and started catching well again. I thought, I ain't going back, and I didn't. I should have gone. I really regret not going back there. Actually, unfortunately, them fish have gone there. I don't know what's left these days. There was some stunning fish in there, but unfortunately, those ones that I angled for there, they've gone. But some very well-known anglers have been on there and fished for them fish over the years.
Using your own bait again? Always using your own bait?
No, see, actually, I was using, and this kind of goes on to what's actually become a key component of one of my baits, actually.
Which one?
So in the Pro Spice, there's a product in there which it helps to try to stop silt withdrawing into the bait. So it repels it. The pinky colour one. The pink. So it's this one here. That one here. That's a Pro Spice. So
Nut meals and milk proteins with cinnamon oils, cream stem. Concentrated milk and bun spice.
Yeah. So that
as in hot cross buns.
As in hot cross buns.
1 a penny, 2 a penny.
Open that bag. Completely different to any bait out there. Trust me.
You sure you want me to open?
Open it, mate. It's fine. They're not sealed. They're not sealed. Just put them open. I haven't sealed it.
Wow, they smell alright, don't they?
So that bait's
So soft.
Yeah, mate, my baits are soft.
Yeah, mate, my baits are soft.
They gotta be. How are you gonna get water to penetrate a fucking marble? And it's one.
DNA baits.
I don't know them.
DNA, you know.
Yeah, I know of them, but I
they're
don't
like
know them.
marbles,
Yeah,
everything.
mate. There's a lot of companies that make them like marble.
Absolute marbles.
Yeah. How are you gonna get? The only way that you're gonna.
I see what you mean about the bun spice. You can smell it in
Just a
there.
little tone, isn't it? But that bait, okay, so that came about. It's quite a funny story, actually.
Got to eat your carp bait.
So that bait came about through a combination of friendships, if you like. So one of them was when I was fishing Showbrook, and I had a friendship with a guy. There's a bit of spice in there.
Yeah. You can taste it in there.
Yeah, a bit of kick. Yeah.
I really like that. I didn't realise your baits were so good.
So I was fishing Showbrook and I was looking for a bait, and I hadn't fished that water before, and I knew that there was a guy up that area that was an exceptional bait maker, and a very, very good bait minder. I got chatting with him, and he decided he said he'd help me. He put a bait together for me, and he then put me onto this product because the lake was very, very silty. Put me onto a product which is in that bait, which is to stop the silt from penetrating into the bait, to stop the bait from going rancid. So that was the first component of that bait, if you like. The second component was a guy I met called Gary. Gary White was a lovely, lovely guy down in.
It's a shelf life as well.
Yeah, shelf life. Yeah.
Fair play, mate.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that from a shelf life. Sorry, keep going.
No,
I just
fine.
got excited about.
That's all right.
Because I think a lot of people.
But this is important, mate. You know, people need to pick the product up and look at it and go, "Wow, is that shelf life?" Well,
this is one of the reasons I wanted to get you in.
Yeah.
You know, it was we've been mates a long time, and like I have fished. I haven't fished a lot of this stuff. The holiday pop-ups, but we'll come on to holiday pop-ups.
Yeah.
Like
So-
I knew how much love you had for these things.
I got chatting with a guy called Gary. He was a lovely, lovely guy, and he put me onto a couple of products as well. And they've ended up being basically the basis of that bait. I was using a guy called Mick Richardson who used to own Supremo baits. We're going back 30 years now.
Crumb down really well as well, don't they?
Yeah. So and Mick used to roll a bait similar to that on a bird food base mix for me.
Bit of pigeon conditioner sort of stuff.
CTX, nectar blend, that sort of thing, on a bird food. And then I went and I was making, back when I was making all my own hook baits and selling them to friends. So I went to a lake down in, again, this goes back to the sort of story we were talking about before, about fishing for old fish, you know, trying to find that bit of fishing still, you know, that I wanted to find. And it's an old estate lake down in Cornwall, at Port Elliot, St Germans. It's run by Plymouth and District Angling Club, and there was some proper old fish in there. There was one called Red, which is not 20, 26, 27 pound mirror, old gnarly thing. You know, I think it had one fin missing and a wonky eye, and the humpy back common, and about 25, and you know, old character fish. You know what I mean? It's about 2.5 acres, 3 acres, something like this place. And we went down there. And I wasn't making a bait at the time. I was just doing hook baits, and I was playing around with a rig which was an early chod rig, and it kind of works on the same principle as what the chod is now, but it's slightly different, slightly more movement. So I was playing around with this chod rig, and a tree had fallen in on the far bank that I was fishing, and so I was flicking the rods over there. I was fishing single pop-ups. Winter time, it's like December it was, and I was fishing single pop-ups. And I was fishing one side of the tree, my mate was fishing the other side of the tree, and I had what is now the Pro Spice pop-ups on in white, which I made in white. I had 12 fish that weekend. Then the lake froze. I had to break the ice to get fish out. It snowed. The mate came down to visit us. His missus said, "You better get home because you're going to get up the hill in the van." It was that bad, the snow. And I had 12 fish in a weekend on the Pro Spice. My mate was like, "What the hell have you made there?"
So was this the first bait out for Max?
No,
Max Attracts?
no. The first baits that I brought out was the Pro Fish, which is the bait that I developed for when I was. It's the ready colour one. It's that one there. That's the front. Yeah. So that was the first bait that I did, and that was the bait that I developed when I was fishing on Black Swan. When I decided I was going to go back to do my own thing.
Smells like the devil's underpants, doesn't it?
Well, these have been nicknamed the Stinky Pinkies, so this is the pop-ups for them. So everyone calls these
Stinky Pinky.
Yeah, the Stinky Pinkies. So that's the pop-ups that goes with that bait. So and they're lethal, mate. They are absolutely lethal.
Sean was fishing this.
Yeah.
Didn't you have wasn't it like a fucking German sausage or something? It was.
So there's a blended sausage in there. So there's 6 different types of sausage flavour in there, if you like. There's a chorizo oil in there.
Wow. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Mega, aren't they? Now you know what they're called, stinky pinkies. Take the air off your nose, aren't they?
Got watering eyes.
And you
That's
can they're banging, aren't they?
Is there garlic in there as well?
Yeah. So the garlic enzyme that's in the Super G. Black pepper oil.
That's what it is.
Yeah, black pepper oil. High levels black pepper oil. And then you got...
Those are like on steroids compared to these.
Oh, yeah.
Is that because you've been... So do you have a liquid that goes with these as well?
Yeah. So they've got the booster sprays. So that's the Pina Colada one. That's the Pro Fish one. I really wouldn't get that on your fingers.
Wow.
Now, I had a guy... I had a guy phone me up.
That gets you in the back of the throat, that does.
Yeah, I had a guy phone me up and he said, "Oh, can I get another?
Short of breath up the top here.
Can I get another one of those sprays thing you give me?" I said, "Mate, you only had one the other week." He said, "Yeah, I've used it all." I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah, I put a whole pot." I was like, "You're joking me." He was like, "No." I said, "Well, I'll tell you what I do." I said, "Throw them pop-ups away." I said, "I'll send you another pot." And I said, "Mate, literally, I'm not joking. Every time you finish fishing, one squirt. That should last you at least a season, if not more. One squirt, that's it. They are full strength.
Why do you never just put this into your boilies before they go out? Do they not need it?
Into them?
Yeah.
Because feed bait's different. Feed bait needs to be a slow, steady release. I want to draw the attention to this bad boy, mate.
This is my lungs hurt from sniffing that bottle.
This is the bit that's got your hook on.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the bit you want the fish on, not that. Yeah, you want them eating that because there's lots of goodness in there. You want them to get the flavour in there. You want to get the taste receptors going of the fish. But this is the bit you want them on, mate. Going back to what I said about Black Swan, about opening my eyes, about watching fish and watching reactions, I could go out and bait up from the boat, but you had to cast your rig. Yeah, that was the rule on there.
Yeah.
Right? So to begin with, it was a bit of a pain in the arse, but once I sort of got the hang of it, I was quite good at it. I'd go out and I started fishing like white and pink pop-ups, so I could see them on the bottom, and then bait over the top of it, like And I'd go out and have a fish. I'd go out and all the feed bait would be gone. That's all the feed bait would still be there. And my pop-up, obviously, which I'd caught on, was obviously what picked up first. So it kind of told me that I was on the right track with these, with the feeding triggers and everything we was doing with these at the time.
This is super soft as well.
Yeah, that's a fish meal.
It's looking hard. It was looking like a much hard when you pull it out of the bag. It looks hard, but I can't believe how soft these are. Especially for shelf life. Do you sell more shelf life than you do frozen?
Depends really. The guys up in like the Reading area and that area, they buy frozen. The guys down here, they want to chuck a couple of bags in the back of the car. They like the word bundle in the southwest. Can you do me
a bundle?
Can you do me a bundle?
Yeah, they do like a bundle.
Yeah, I'll tell you where I come from. A bundle means that me and my mates are going to come and jump on you. That's a bundle. Yeah, they love the word the bundle down in the southwest. I'm not.
I think it's from the shows. You can get a
yeah,
show.
I'm not keen on doing bundles. If I'm honest with you, I kind of feel like I've never ever gone to a bait company and gone, "Oh, can I have a bundle, please?" If I'm looking at a bait, I'll do a lot of investigation. I'll talk to people. I'll do my research. I'll find out. I'll have a couple of chats with them. What's the ingredients? What you're doing? Blah blah. I think people just they don't want to do the research anymore. They don't want to find out about it. They just want to.
They want to see who's caught what fish.
And then they think that by you selling them a 1 kilo bag and a pop-ups, they're going to go and haul. And it's like, well, no, you got to put it in. You got to. Sometimes you got to. Some lakes you're going to go to, and that's the situation.
When I was buying bait, I was buying 20 or 30 kilos.
Yeah, exactly. And I say to people, look, why don't you get 2 or 3 mates together and say, right, let's all put 200 quid in each, and then buy your bait, and then you just keep putting in your lake. I said, and they
take over.
Yeah. I said, and every time you go fishing, your fishing will get easier and easier.
He's going to hate me for this, but me and Sean were doing this when we were on first. We all fished the same bait. But of course, he was working and I wasn't, so I just phone off, turn up in fishing spots. Well, where I was fishing like over here, and he couldn't get to where I was without being in my bit, and we had a gentleman's agreement that we wouldn't fish in each other's swims.
Whilst you were there.
Not just at all. But while he was... Where he was baiting up, I could cast to. So if he wasn't there, I wasn't in his swim. 2 rods, third one over there. It was...
Yeah.
But like the shelf life now has come along miles from the old shelf life used to have.
I had a few problems with not problems, but I had a few difficulties when obviously I started putting it together because I wanted to use high grade, human food grade preservative.
Goes off.
Because if you don't, you can buy cheaper stuff, mate. But it's rancid. It's just crap, mate. It's just absolute crap. It's no good for fish. It's no good for anybody, mate. It's no good for us. High levels of sodium in it, mate. It's just no good at all. So when Tony, this is a totally different story. When Tony Blair was in government, he got all the major manufacturers of food together, from Marks and Spencer's, Tesco's, the rest of it.
War criminal Tony Blair.
Yeah, war criminal Tony Blair. That's another story. But he basically told them he had to lower the sodium levels of everything that was going in the food market because it was killing people. High levels of anxiety, high levels of stroke, and high levels of heart disease because of sodium. Massive levels of sodium. They were putting way too much in food. And they made them literally, and it was all done in secret. If you go on Google, you can find it now. It was under this Freedom of Information Act. Yeah, it's all on there. But that's how much it was in. And that sodium's just a preservative, basically. And that's what they were doing. They're putting too much preservative in foods to make them last longer.
Is there sodium in salt?
Yeah. Loads of salt. That's what salt is, preservative. All meats used to get salted. You think they'll go back to like Taylor's days, back in during sort of Napoleonic times, they used to salt meats to reserve them. That's what it is, sodium. So if you buy a high level human food grade preservative, it has lower sodium levels in, which is only a good thing. You can't have 6 great products within a bait and one that's shit, because it's not going to counteract the others and make them any better. It's going to make all 6 worse.
What is the actual shelf life though?
I would say 6 months maximum
before it starts to turn.
Yeah, it'll turn. Yeah, it'll turn definitely. If you store it right, if you keep it in the back of your car,
it's getting hot.
It's getting hot and sweaty, and the bag starts to sweat. The products that are in this are water activated, so they will start to activate within the nut mill bait, which is the pina colada and the bancho nut.
That's what I took to. Where's the pina colada?
Yeah, that's what you took to Belgium.
That is what I took to Belgium.
Yeah,
it's good for catching bream.
Good for catch everything. It's why it's called Max Attract. It's maximum attraction for everything.
The mistake I made by taking this to Belgium, I should have taken bigger baits.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, I should have taken 18s and 22s.
Yeah.
I really like this stuff though.
But
I took it onto my mates. Christoph's Lake.
That bait was launched last November to all the promo team guys and the ambassadors, and I rolled 3/4 ton of it, and it went out to the guys for the winter, and it just destroyed everywhere. It just literally took apart.
How do you deal with managing pro team members?
I've got a promo manager who manages them. I've got a very good friend of mine who manages. So I try to stay away from the promo team. I try and stay away from the social medias team. I've got guys that do all those things for me because I'm not any good at it. Just my mind and my concentration and my time is on this. I'm a one-man band, mate. Effectively, I've got guys that help me, but this is I make all the liquids in house, mate. All the pellets done in house. There's no automatic potting machines or labelling machines, and everything is done by hand. Everything is potted by hand. Everything's labelled by hand. Every liquid is made by hand. I was up at 6 o'clock this morning making liquids.
Yeah, you messaged me when I messaged you saying I'm looking forward to today. You like I've been up since 6 getting all the deliveries ready.
Yeah, and I was like, I had to get every deliveries ready to go out today that come in over the weekend, so I can make sure that. Luckily, my missus works from home on a Monday, so I can get all the pickups done today from home. And then I wanted to make sure I had the full range of liquids here. So I sold quite a lot over the weekend. So I was short on a few. So I was literally making liquids at 6 o'clock this morning.
This is lovely. This pina colada is lovely.
I can't keep it on the shelf. Seriously, mate, it's become, to the detriment of a few of the baits in the range, actually, it's become such a phenomenal bait. And it's almost by accident. So that's a bait I've had kicking around for about 10 years in the back of my head, and something I wanted to do for a long time. My mate Simon calls these pedos.
Pedos?
Yeah, because he said they bring all
they hang around schools?
No, because they bring all the kids running. So they're absolutely phenomenal. They absolutely just love them.
See, Sean fishes the Blancho nut, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That's his favourite.
So the Blancho nut was one of the first baits I brought out. I brought the fish one and the nut one.
Is there banana in there?
Yeah, banana oil, banana flavour, and banana powder palatin. So again, I don't just use liquid flavours. Not every
physically smell the banana in there.
Not every flavour is a flavour, and that's quite controversial.
It smells like banana bread.
Never, I've never smelt banana bread, but yeah.
Does your missus not make you banana bread?
No, mate.
Do you not like banana bread?
She doesn't like bananas.
I didn't know you were gay. I thought my missus makes the best banana bread, chocolate chips in there.
Yeah,
and
she
stuff.
does, doesn't she?
Yeah.
It's a shame, my friend.
This I like.
Yeah.
This I like. This I really like.
So that one there, say, there's banana oil in there, banana flavour, banana hearts, and a banana powder, ketone powder. So
This one's a bit stiffer, or it doesn't crumb down quite like the other ones.
because it's got oil in it, it's high levels of oil.
Yeah, if it's a bit more.
Yeah, a bit more spongy.
Yeah.
Yeah, high levels of oil in there, that's why. Than that oils. But there's also
Does that leach more, or does that?
it doesn't have an effect on the leak off rate of it because they're all around about the same sort of leak off rates. I'm honest with you. Nice that you pour milk on that and have it for breakfast, mate, with cornflakes. But again, it's got a key component in there, which is the same that's in the pina colada, which is the Brocasel, which is it comes from Belgian beer brewing. There's another brand out there that markets a bait that's got a similar sort of name that should be in it, Brocasel.
Who's that?
Yeah, I put it on my reel sometimes and reel it in. So yeah, it's but when I checked the ingredients list on that packaging of that said company, it wasn't on there, so I don't think they put it in anymore, which is a shame because it's a fantastic product.
Is it cheap? I'm guessing it's not cheap.
No, not cheap at all.
What's it? It's a Belgian
beer brewing yeast extract. So it's
I wonder if it goes in their Dupler. Oh, I love Belgian. I love Dupler.
Belgian blonde, can't beat it.
Oh, Dupler's my favourite.
Yeah. So yeah, but it's in the pina colada as well. It's a Brocasels in there as well.
So going back to like protein members, then, how do you go about picking someone to represent? Because you asked me and I had to turn you down because I was too busy tuna fishing.
Yeah. No, mate, it's really, really hard, mate. If I'm honest with you, I mean, so we've sort of the company's sort of growing all the time, mate. You know, and it is. You know, I'm getting more and more recognition for what we're doing, and more and more people realising we're different, and the baits are different, and what we're doing is a higher quality. And people are coming to me and going, you know, can I join? I'm like, well, no, because you haven't even bought a bait off me. Come and buy some bait. Come and use some bait. Give us some honest feedback. Send us some pictures, and then we'll have a look at you. At the beginning, I had an idea. When I joined Sticky Baits, their ethos was very, very simple. It was nobody gets turned away. We'll have a promo team of 10,000 people if we have to. We'll just flood the market. And then eventually we'll just thin it all down. So that's what he did. So the idea being, and I kind of the same sort of theory, which it didn't work in a way, because it didn't work actually at all. I got all my hands up. I fucked up on that one. My idea was cast the net far and wide, you'll catch some good fish as long as a load of little ones. Unfortunately, we end up catching a lot of little ones, and some people just they didn't understand what was required of them. I had people on a promo team who just did nothing. You know, they wasn't even buying bait. I'm like, what are you here for? Why have you joined the company? And I kind of come to the conclusion in the end.
Were you giving them free bait?
No, I don't do that at all, mate. And if you want stuff off me, it's fine. You want to be part of it, it's fine. And we work on a reward system. So even if you're a promo team member, we're on a tiered system. So you come in on the lowest tier when you first join us. And it's up to you what level of commitment you give and how much you give back. If you're happy to send us your photographs, to advertise the company, to speak to your friends, to write blogs, all those sorts of things, you quickly go up a tier. And basically, the idea being is that you want to get to ambassadors. That's where you want to be. You want to be an ambassador.
So if you're an ambassador for Max Attracts, what does that look like?
Well, you get a much better discount, obviously, higher discount. Anything that's new, you get before anyone else. And in the clothing, you get a much better discount. But more importantly, you get access to some lakes and places that other people don't get. I've got private syndicates I'm on that I'm allowed to take people on.
You take Sean sometimes, don't you?
Yeah, so I've got one in October this year. I'm taking 10 guys to a private syndicate, which is no publicity, in Somerset, which is phenomenal. I mean, it's beautiful. Massive big willow trees are around it.
The deep base, the deep ones?
No, this is another one.
So the one you do up in Hawcott then, is that for all your...
So Hawcott's promo team and general, it's a case of like, sometimes I start Hawcott the year before normally, and I have 20 names, and by the time we go, probably 10 names have changed, if not 12 or 15. You know, it's just the way it is. So this year we had a lot of promo team guys and a couple of mates. So like a mate of mine from Reading come up, a mate of mine who used to live in Reading now lives in Tavistock. Gary came up, and it's just a social, mate. And I try and take people that it's just a social before we all go off for the spring doing our own proper fishing, you know what I mean? It's a chance of a social with a raffle, with a barbecue. I order dinner for everybody on the Friday night. Everyone gets a burger and chips on a Friday night delivered from the local place, which does lovely food. It's quite funny to bring out 3 drivers and they all got bags each, like 20 odd burger and chips. But
it's a long walk around the Hallcott as well. I fished it.
Yeah. So
a lot of fish though. There's like 1,000 fish.
Yeah, some stunning fish in it, mate. This year we didn't do
the golden. The syndicate next, literally.
It's not syndicate anymore. That the Scout Lake is now day ticket as well. You can book that out as well.
Really?
Yeah, they've opened it up this year.
Some stunners in there.
Yeah. Well, so basically, they used to move the better fish from Hawcott into there. So now they've opened that one up as well. So, but yeah, we didn't do so well this year. The weather was a bit pants. But I've been on a massive road trip. I mean, I'd been away for like 12 days and drove straight to Hawcott. I was in France for 10 days. Went to a friend of mine's, just bought a place out in France. And they decided to shut it for a year and do a lot of work and turn it around because it needed a lot of work doing to it. So they invited me to go out and fish it, and I took Sean along for the ride. We were supposed to be there for 5 days and then go on to my mate John's at Moolerson for 7. In the end, we ended up flipping it the way around. We done 7 at my mate's place and 5 at John's, purely because we had such a good time. I had 38 fish.
They're all held up in your end.
Oh, mate, big time.
Because I phoned Sean, he was 5 days in. I'm like, I haven't heard from you. You being Captain Blank?
Yeah, he was.
Is somebody blanking? He's going, no, I'm here for the social. I don't want.
And to be fair, it was more about us because we was sitting there drinking, whiskey in the evening and with a pit fire going and barbecuing, and it was lovely, mate. It was nice to meet up with my mate again. I hadn't seen him for quite a long time and fishing for a while. So, and fishing in France is holiday you can take your rods on. It's always been that way for me. I've never ever gone out to France to set any personal goals or to break any personal goals or PBs. I fish hard when I'm in the UK. I do a lot of travelling. I do a lot. So I'll go to France and I want to chill out for a week. I want to have a few beers, some good food, have a laugh, take the piss out of Sean for blanking all week. Netsman. I'm not joking, but I was literally shouting out, Netsman. Honestly, mate. At one point I had 3 nets full. I had 2 slings full. It was just carnage, mate. I couldn't give one more. I was down to 2 rods. I ended up fishing 2 rods.
I can't remember what the bet was I made with him. I ended up losing it, but I was like, I reckon it was something. And it was like 2 days away. I can't remember what I had to do, where I was going. But I was like, I bet I'm going to get back from where I'm going, and you still haven't caught a fish. And about 24 hours later, I finally got a picture of him holding a fish. I went, Matt caught that, didn't he? He's just letting you hold it.
Mate, I said to him, honestly, I said to him, look, mate, I've had my fill. I've had my fill. I mean, my back was in pieces, literally in pieces. I was chomping painkillers. I was in that much pain in my back. I said, mate, take the swim over. I said, just take it over. I said, go the other side of me. It was just another swim.
You'd have blanked.
So I was fishing the second from last swim, but I was fishing in front of the last swim's water, if you like. I said, mate, go up there. I said, because you're moving back anyway. I said, so I'll just catch him on the way out. So I said, look, mate, go up there. No, he wouldn't do it. I think he had 5 or 6 fish out in the end. He was happy.
As much as I love to take the piss out of Sean, he's actually a tidy little
He's a really good angler, mate, yeah.
I think that's down to you. You've sort of like taken him under your wing a little bit.
I call him my project. Yeah. He has been my project, yeah.
Because when I first met him, he was fishing, what's opposite New Barn?
Town Parks.
Fishing Town Park.
Yeah.
Loved the flying back lead.
Yeah.
Loved the back lead.
Yeah. Mate, it takes a lot to get him. He borderlines autistic at times because it takes a lot to get him to change his mind on something. And once he's make up his mind,
he's uber competitive as well.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, and that's why.
So much so, I beat him on our last Christmas match. I beat him the first year. Remember that Alan Blair mug?
Yeah.
Me with a photo of Alan Blair.
Yeah.
And then I beat him the second year. Sean, I'm still waiting for my prize, and we haven't had a Christmas match for 3 years since. Because I beat him.
I got him a T-shirt for his birthday, and it was me with a pair of angel wings on, saying I want to be like my friend Matt with a big carp. That was his T-shirt. I made him wear it as well.
Oh, I'm surprised he wore it. But he is a real tidy angler.
Yeah, he is very good.
The amount of places I've been with him, and he always whittles one out.
Yeah, no, he is. He's
the most heavy-footed.
Yeah. He's no ninja.
He used to be that fucker that will turn up and get a mallet out and start putting.
Yeah, he's no ninja. He's no ninja on the bank, mate.
No.
But he walk and he works it out.
Got a good set of eyes on him.
Yeah, he's very good. Watercraft is very, very good, mate. And when he joined, when I obviously I was running Waglands, and I got a chat with him. It's a bit like another young lad I met many years ago, and I saw something in him. I saw he was a special angler. I knew he had something about him. I don't consider myself to be like. I don't consider myself to be lucky. I've always worked hard for my fishing. Always.
I've got to work hard for my fish as well. I've never fluked them out.
No, I'm not one of them. Sean, another Sean, Mad Sean, who I've known for a long, long time from Squadmore. We were fishing up at Colebrook. I was doing the testing. This is before Max Trap Baits was a name.
That's in Columpton.
Yeah, so
I was there that day. You caught the biggest one out.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. But I was doing the testing for the Bancho nut on there, and I do my testing in the winter because in my mind, if you can put a bait for its paces in the winter, the worst time of year, the worst conditions, when the fish aren't feeding hard, and it's not, so anyone can go out there now and fill a lake in full of bait and catch a load of fish on. And God, this bait's amazing. Yeah. But if you can do it from November through to February, March, when it's really, really cold, and you can be consistent and through the winter, that's the true test of a bait for me. Now, so I always do my testing in the winter, and I was fishing on that lake with Mad Sean, and I had a few fish out, and then I had the big one out, the biggest fish in the lake out. I think it was like December time, and he came up to me and went, "Why do you always do it?" And I went, "What?" He went, "You always catch the biggest fish in the lake." And I couldn't answer him because I didn't know. I was like, well, I don't know, man.
Effort equals reward in carp fishing.
I don't. But until he said that, it didn't register with me that I do that. I do that quite a lot, don't I? I do go and get the biggest fish in the lake out. You know, I do. Or if I set my target on a fish, when I joined Dinton, I had two fish in my mind I wanted to catch. The twin was one because it was the biggest fish in the lake and one of the oldest. It was 54 pound at one point. So that would have been a UK PB for me at 50 and a first 50 pounder. And the other one was Son of Triple Row. I really wanted to catch Son of Triple Row.
That's a hell of a thing, isn't it?
It's a stunning fish, mate. Yeah. It's just one of the best. So that was the biggest fish in there. Was the twin, and Son of Triple Row was the best in my mind. That was like the best in the country and the biggest.
Did you catch the Son of Triple Row?
I had the twin. At 45, so it lost a bit of weight, and I did it the wrong way around, 54 to 45. And I missed out on the Son of Triple Row twice. I literally missed out on getting in the swim where that fish came out of twice. So I was that close to getting there. Literally that. I knew I was close.
That was like the pinnacle of the lake.
Yeah, and if I'd have had that fish, mate, I probably would have had my rods up, I reckon, and just taken a year out, I reckon, because I've really fished hard, really, really hard. I was moving 5-6 times in the weekend. I was living off the barrow, and I was up trees. I was doing everything I could to try and get a bite, and I was really fishing hard. And the second time it came out from the swim, literally a guy walked in, put his barrow in the swim, and walked off around the lake, and I come back and I was like, "Oh mate, you drop in there?" He went, I said, "I'm going to go up the top and have a social." I was like, "Oh, I'm going to drop in there." He went, "Yeah, no." So I was just going to go up and see the boys and go down the car. Okay, nice. He come back and went, "Oh, they're going to move down here." I was like, "Oh, fuck, no."
Well, he pushed his gear out.
Yeah, and he had the fish out that weekend, mate. He had it, and literally from the spot that I'd fished the weekend before, and had 3 fish out. I had a long common off it, and I knew that fish was there. And I saw it the week before. I knew it was there. I know it sounds stupid. Old fish got fins. They swim, but they were very much once they were in an area on that lake, you could literally find them.
Fish are very nomadic though, but they keep coming back to spots.
When I caught the twin, it was a really, really weird situation. I wrote an article about it in Big Carp magazine, and a couple of others as well. When I caught the twin, it was a really, really weird situation because it was kind of predicted, if you know what I mean. It was really weird. It's almost like it was scripted. So I dropped into this. I turned up on the Friday, and I had a good friend of mine with me who I don't get to fish with very much. He runs a couple of syndicates I'm on. We don't get to fish together very much. We sort of ships are passing the night a lot. So we was having a bit of a social. He said, "Where have you gone?" So I said, "I'm up in 6 at the top." He said, "Oh, I'll come up when I'll fish next year." Brilliant. Okay, mate, no worries at all. And I put the rods out that evening, and I was watching where I fished the opposite side in 77 the week before. I was watching where I was fishing, and I kept seeing fish come up short in between them. And they weren't big fish, they were just plodding out. I thought, well, they're all fishing like long, and these are like 3 rod lengths out, 4 rod lengths out. I'm like, so anyway, when I went in 6 and I had a little lead around, I found a couple of not perfect spots, but presentable spots. Yeah, and they're quite hard. And I thought that just and the right hand rod just was like, yeah, that's the one. I just don't know. I just felt it. You know what I mean? So I put it down. And I put 10 cat bait over it. Put 10 cat bait over it. And I sat on it, and that was on the Friday night. Saturday afternoon, my mate come round. No, sorry, Saturday morning he come round, and he said, I keep seeing the twin up here. But I keep seeing the twin up here. I said, yeah, I saw it last week as well, mate. He said, yeah, I keep seeing it anyway. He said, off he went. Go off the toilet, come back up. He said, "You'll have it." I said, "What?" He said, "You'll have it." I said, "Yeah, all right, mate." Anyway, Saturday night I had the fish. Sunday morning he come round to go to the toilet again. He went, "Twin?" "What?" He went, "You had the twin, didn't you?" I went, "How do you know?" He went, "Because it ain't showing." I said, "I ain't seen it show." And I told no one. We did all the photographs in the back of the out of the way, nice and quiet. Put
Did
all
you
the
do
lights
night
around.
shots? Did you?
Yeah, did night shots. Yeah,
Oh, I can't do it.
mate, that's easy when you got it soft, mate. Honestly, I've got it
Nah,
soft.
that thing will get slung. I'll be waiting for first.
No,
boarding
I'm
light.
telling you now, mate. Honestly, now I can do perfect shots, mate. And I bought two cheap
Nothing looks as good as a daytime shot.
Don't know. I've got some good morning ones now, mate. Some good misty early morning ones, and it's just dark, just between dark and light. I've got some good photos. Really good. I've really got it soft, mate. I do a lot of fishing on my own now, so I do all my own photography. Yeah, my pictures are all.
Yeah, I've always done self takes, but mine were on a tripod with an iPhone in a.
Yeah, but I use my camera. I use my phone. I literally only use my phone, but I've learnt to use my phone. I bought the phone because of the camera, so I've literally just learnt to use it, mate. And the parameters on it and the setting it all up. And now I'm going to take some really good pictures. That's all I take. I don't take a digital SLR anymore. Don't bother.
Well, clumpy, isn't it?
Yeah. So. Yeah, so catching the twin from there was probably the highlight, really.
I could sniff them all day. They're lovely. So what else? So let's run through the whole lot.
Okay.
So pina colada.
Yep. So the pina colada is
stick mix.
Yep.
For literally making sticks.
Yeah. Well, you can use it as ground bait balls as well, mate. You can. So what?
Do you ever like put a bit of water into the bucket so they then add some of this to get it all stuck together?
Yeah, you can do that, mate. You can do it with the oils, the pina colada oil. I used the pina colada myself this winter because give it a good shake. I'm of the opinion that you can't sell something unless you're going to use it yourself and talk about it and proofs in the pudding, as they say. So I was fishing Ashmead this winter for my first winter on there.
Lovely water that is.
Yeah, stunning. It's hard, really, really hard, especially in the winter time.
Yeah, Ben who owned Diggers when I was up there, he was on the winter ticket up there.
That's what I was on the winter ticket.
Said how tricky it was.
That's
lovely. That is
nice, isn't it? So that's my toasted nut oils with the pina colada flavour. So I was on there this
How much is one of these?
That's $14.99 for a 500ml.
How much is a kilo of bait?
$11.99.
And how much is a stick mix?
$9.50. But that's an industry first. The stick mix is because if you add water to it, it changes colour.
To what?
To the matching colour of the bait. So whatever colour stick mix you pick up. So if you pick up the fruit salad boilie and the fruit salad stick mix, if you add water to that, that will turn orange. The same colour as the bait.
It's the same colour already.
No, but I'm on about these ones. Yeah, so like the Profish is like a reddy colour, yeah, like a deep red. If you add water to the Profish stick mix, it will change to a deep red colour, so it matches. So you.
Oh right, now I understand.
Yeah,
right, okay.
That turns pink. You add water to that, it turns pink, bright pink.
How do you do that?
Just add water to it.
You fucking. Yeah, but what?
If you add any liquid to my stick mixes, they will change to the colour that corresponds to the bait you're fishing. So if it's
is that a secret way you've done it?
Yeah.
You're going to tell me how you do it?
No, it's just
okay. You can tell me off air.
It's something I do. It's an industry first. I'm not going to tell. I'm not going to give everything away.
Do you heavily promote that?
I don't heavily promote.
Can you shut the website up, please, Aaron? Thank you, mate.
I don't heavily promote anything, mate. At the end of the day, I want everybody. If you click on the products or shop now. There you go.
So you got pellets as well. You got pellets.
Yeah, so I do three different pellets. Again, all made in house. Again,
I took some of those pina colada pellets with me. You gave me some.
Industry first. I don't think anyone makes a white pellet out there anymore. I know why. They're a bitch to make. They really are a bitch to make.
They're expensive to make.
All pellets become expensive, mate. That's the problem. And you've got to start with a good pellet to begin with. So I only use Coppins pellets to start with. That's my base pellet.
Oh, what pellet?
Coppins. So I
Is that what a lot of the fish farms are using?
Yeah. Well, again, I did a lot of testing with waste product coming from pellet. And there are other pellet companies out there, and other pellet products out there.
Jump on the stick mix, please, mate. This one here, the Pro Spice.
Yeah.
So you buy the base mix of the pellets?
I buy a base pellet, yeah, and then I make it myself in house with the flavours and the colours.
Is it the guys that make this for you?
No, I do it myself.
At home?
Yeah. The only thing I have rolled externally is Simon rolls all my hook baits, and I have my feed bait externally rolled because I don't have the machinery and the size and the quantities to do it. Everything
You
else.
need a warehouse.
Exactly, and that costs. That costs me. It costs big time.
That's a fine ginger mullet. That lad's rocking.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's a hero of mine actually. That wearing a mullet that well. So He's we were looking for someone to do a bit of photography for us, and it was my friend Sean who does all my social media stuff. He's a friend of his, and he said, "Do you mind doing this for an afternoon?" And he said, "Yeah, no, I'll come along." So yeah, nice guy, real nice guy.
So how many boilies have we got in the range?
There's 6 baits. There's Pina Colada,
Yeah,
Pro Fish,
yeah,
Pro Spice,
yeah.
Fruit Salad.
Where's the fruit salad?
Super
I want
G.
to sniff that.
Fruit salad is there. So that was because I launched the company.
Oh, I've got this.
Because I launched the company quite late
I've
in
got
the
your
year.
freezer one. I bought like 20 kilos.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
it.
Because I launched the company quite late in the year. I wanted to put out, in my mind, what's an out and out winter bait really.
Oh, they smell.
Low oil, high digestion rate, and super.
Yeah, you can tell the difference between that and like the Blancho nut. How
Yeah.
easy it.
Yeah. Because the oils, it's just purely the oils. There's a lot of oil in there.
Where's the boiler? Where's the pop-ups for these?
So you got you got the fluoros, and then you've got the
yeah.
You've got the fluoros, and you've got Max the Hatch peach ones, wafters and pop-ups. And
So is that the colour they go?
Yeah, that's the colour that washes out.
So that washes out.
Yeah, so that colour.
I
Within
don't know where you can see this, but that then washes out to that. How long does that wash out time take?
a couple of hours tops, mate.
long.
Honestly. Yeah, not long at all. It looks completely different in the water anyway. I mean, the Super G is a really, really dark bait. You put it in the water, it looks grey. It looks almost white in the water.
I've done this once already. It doesn't leave you that smell. It's like the ultimate garlic mayo from the kebab shop, isn't it?
Yeah. That's like walking back at 4 in the morning, pissed with a kebab, isn't it? I'll have extra chilli sauce and extra garlic.
Curiosity's got a better opinion.
It's like fucking smelling salts.
Once smell and never forgotten. So
Terror.
there's a company out there that do.
They're nuts, though, aren't they, mate? They're absolutely.
There's a company out there that do a product called Scent from Hell, and I think they're worse. I do think.
Oh
they're
yeah,
worse.
so that's old
Mark Bryan.
yeah, Mark Bryan.
Yeah, he does some good baits. Does some really good stuff. Apparently,
So I used to rip because Sean used to fish. What's it called? What's the name of the company?
Atlantic Heat he used to fish.
Yeah,
Bait
what's
works.
it? Bait Works.
Yeah,
So I used to call it bream bait.
yeah.
I always used to wind him up. Used to call it bream bait. Me and him went up to the Big One show. What's the one near London?
Yeah,
The
Farnborough.
big- Farnborough. I think we're at
No, you went to Essex.
Yeah, we went to Essex. Yeah. We went up to it. Yeah, 'cause
Brentford show.
we went and fished. Chigborough. Went and fished Chigborough. Elliot Gray had just bought Carp TV, which he just rebranded it as Cypriology.
Yeah.
And he had his stand there, and I'm just chatting away to him, and he was like, "Oh, what bait do you use?" Sean chirped in with, "I use Atlantic Heat." And I've gone fucking bream bait. And Elliot Gray turned around and went, "It does catch a lot of bream, doesn't it?" It was like, awkward. Oh, mate, they're like smelling salts. Oh, they're naughty, they are. You wouldn't want that on your hands, would you?
So there's a special blend of essential oils in there. That's what gives it that extra ting.
Is that an all year round bait?
Yeah,
Is
mate,
that...
all year round. Yeah, they're all year round, mate. Every one of them. There's not a bait in there that I wouldn't use or put out myself in the winter time, mate. And that includes the fish meals because they're super soluble.
So do you, when you're putting pop-ups in here, do you have a set amount that comes
There's
in each?
40 baits in each pot. 40 bites in every pot.
40 bites.
40 bites. That's my
40
marketing for you.
bites.
There you go. Look. Yeah.
40 bites in
40
each
bites
pot.
in each pot.
Now these, no. Although I did fish, you had a mulberry. It wasn't a mulberry fizz.
Yeah.
You did because Sticky brought out the mulbs, didn't
Yeah.
they? But I didn't find them very buoyant. They were somewhere between like a wafter and a.
No, mate, this base mix is absolutely bang on.
The only way I could get a mulb, the sticky mulbs, to flow.
Can you stop opening them?
Which ones?
Open the sweet ones and the nice ones.
Yeah, you made me some mulbs.
Yeah, I
but they
did,
weren't
yeah.
called a mulb fizz.
No, so they were the ones that I imported. I had a friend of mine making them. They were mulberry and secret agent. So that's an old school recipe. That I used
They
to
were
make.
really good. I was using those on first.
Yeah, I've got about 3 pots
But
of them
you're-
left over there. My personal collection.
Yours, I've still got half a pot.
Yeah,
Because where you say there's 40 bites in each one, there's only like 18 fish in the lake.
Yeah.
And I caught most of them by then, and it
Yeah.
was.
yeah. The mulberry fizz is a take on something I did years ago. It's just a bit of a twist.
Zingers.
Yeah, the zingers.
Holiday pop-ups.
Holiday pop-ups.
Holiday pop-ups. I did you a lovely bit of marketing. I'm stood on the side of a quite...
Yeah, but you got the blue bobble hat on.
I had a monkey climber hat on. I had a blue monkey climber hat on.
Yeah.
I was on a canal system, which is not as well known as most of them, but it's not hard to find. I found it. I'm not shouting it out because if I send lads there, the local lads.
No, you got to keep these places to yourself.
They were throwing they were horrible to us to start with. Now two of them.
Yeah, because they don't want you there. Why would they want you there? Why would they want you taking up their space?
Their take on it always used to be was we've seen what's happened in
France. Yeah, yeah.
And now we've got all the English boys turning up over here. But I find it off my own back. I've now got two good
Fair play. I mean, you've got the balls to go out there on your own in your van and just do it, mate. You know, there's a lot of people go out there. It's like 2, 3, 4, 5 people, and that's quite a big area of the canal taken up. You know what I mean? So you can understand why they want to protect it. And like you say, what's happening in France, how busy France is. You know, but that's it.
Well, they were saying a lot of their fish were getting robbed out the canals in getting taken down to France to the pay.
There's still a lot of places in France you can go which are off the beaten track, mate. I still go to publics out there. You know, I'm looking at taking a few guys out to a public lake next year. I was going to try and do it this year, but I haven't got time. But you know, I've fished quite a few publics out there, and I've loved some of the fishing. It's just great, mate. You know, I've put guys. Dan's been out to one. I put him on a few times. He took a couple of friends of him each time he's gone, and they've had fish over £40 up to just under 50, I think. You know, it's a nice fish, like you know what I mean. From where I've put, and they're only a couple of hour drive from Roscoff. You know, you can do a Thursday night ferry from Roscoff, into Roscoff at 8 o'clock on a Friday morning, and get the ferry home Tuesday. You know, you can take a couple of days off work, and you can do a long weekend. And
we were legging it up to the for Belgium. We were legging it up to the Eurotunnel.
Yeah.
Luke used to get to mine for like. I can't remember what time he used to turn up. We used to take like the 2 o'clock ferry, 2 o'clock tunnel.
Yeah.
So he would come and pick me up at like 10 o'clock or something.
Are you still fishing?
Not as much as he was, no.
Likewise.
Yeah, well, I went off.
Well, did you text me this morning? Run your own business, you never got to work another day again?
Yeah. Own your own business, they say.
This is what people don't see, mate. The backbone behind all of this, the time I put in, mate. The shows, the packing, the sending of the orders. 6 o'clock starts in the morning, 10 o'clock finishes at night. You know, invoicing. It's
Luke used to say it to me. On the odd chance that I'd go on a weekend, most of this would be through the week, so I could blag it a little bit easier. But on the few occasions we'd go on the weekends. He used to turn up to my bivvy about 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. He'd be like, "Oh, you can tell it's Monday morning because your phone's been ringing constantly since 6."
Yeah.
In like Sean said it when you were over in France, your phone was just ringing constantly.
Yeah. Right,
I used to be trying to get on fish, trying to put.
I went on holiday to Tenerife, mate. I told everybody I was going away for a week, and I've got people ringing me while I'm away going, my bait ain't turned up. What do we do, mate? I'm in Tenerife. It's Saturday morning. I'm in Tenerife. It's Saturday morning. I can't get hold of anybody to find out where your parcel is until Monday. What do you want me to do? I can't do anything, mate. Oh well. I'm not that. I'd love to, and ultimately, that's what you want to do. And I did do it to one customer. He gave me a load of grief and he started slagging me off on Facebook. And I messaged him and said, mate, as soon as your bait turns up, stick it back in the post. I'll refuse to sign for it. As soon as I've got it back, I'll issue all your refund, mate. If you've got to take it to the post office, tell me how long it takes you. I'll pay you for your time. I said, mate, I don't need a negative press. And I'll tell you what I don't need is another customer like you. Don't come back. Don't come back. I don't do this for anything other than the fact that I love doing this. I gave up a really good salary and a 4-day week job and a cushy life to do this. I don't want shit off people.
Yeah, because you were saying that this doesn't actually. No, everyone thinks you've got a bait company and you're absolutely ranking it.
You ain't got a clue, mate. Honestly, problem is you come on. You
come own a tuna brand.
You buy one pot of pop-ups. That's fine. You know. Thank you very much. I've made a little bit of profit on that pot of pop-ups. I mean a little bit.
What do you reckon you make on the top of pop-ups?
How much do you reckon I make?
£3.
If I'm lucky. Yeah, if I'm lucky.
What are you making on the boilies? Same sort of margins?
It depends, really, on whether you're buying 10 kilo bulk bags or because these bags are expensive. I've had to spend a lot on. I mean, I haven't paid a penny for any of the production or any of the design costs. So me and my son's an artist. He's got a master's degree in art. He's actually an associate lecturer at Plymouth University. Every label that you see, me and my son have sat down and designed. Every label, I've gone into the shops and I've looked at brands. Honestly, I look like some weirdo stalking people. I'm like looking at labels and bottles, and that's why my labels, if you look, they're all at an angle because everybody else's labels are all straight. But I wanted something that was big and bold and at a different angle.
Red topped
Yeah,
lids.
red top lids. Nobody else out there does a red top lid pop up. So I found a guy that did the red top lid pop ups. It just so happens that Simon uses the same guy by pure accident. Literally, he uses the same guy for his pots because nobody else does a
We
red
did
lid
the same thing with Tuna Gear, didn't we? We sat there and we researched everybody,
Yeah.
what they were doing, how can we be different,
Yeah.
and you try and put that sort of.
Designing the logo and the X, in the Max Attract. The idea was always to get down to just the X. So that everyone associates the X with just being part of the brand. It's the same with the X marks the spot.
It ties in very well, doesn't it?
That was the idea.
It's
was
a
to
logo
move,
within a logo.
Yeah, exactly. The idea was to move it across from being the X was in Max Trap Baits to the X in X marks the spot, so that the clothing line runs alongside the bait brand. Because to be honest with you, the clothing brand supports this. I make more money from the clothing, or I can sell one hoodie and make more money on that than I can on selling.
It runs from some of the clothing in a minute because I've seen Sean in this one.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you got it in his size.
I do 4XL.
What do you have to do? Stitch 5 of them together?
No, I got 4XLs and they come with guide ropes and tent pegs, so it's all good.
Oh, yeah, I could have slept under it for the night.
That was a bit overnight bivvy.
Mind you said to me, I've got nothing. I was like, I'll put some stuff on for the podcast, like help you out with a bit of marketing. Got nothing in your size.
I brought all mediums, mate. I thought, you're only a large.
But yeah, these zingers I did really, really well on.
Yeah.
I used them in racks and I used them in Belgium and I had some real nice fish on them. And I was stood there, I was on the side of this canal one day and it's a beautiful big, they've got the big Dutch elms, haven't they, that line all the side of the canal. Just a beautiful place. And I've done you a little thing on my phone. I thought, you can put this up on like Facebook. I was trying to be really nice. And I was like, so I've gone to Belgium.
Yeah, but did you not just
go... Hang on. No, I've missed out a main part of the story. So I started off on my Belgian adventures and I did not hit the ground running. Talk about working for your fish. I've talked Luke into coming to Belgium with me and I did one trip by myself and I soon realised that 2 people are going to be far more effective than one because you can never look it, on those canals you can only look one way.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, if there's 2 of us, we can be back to back in covering the whole canal system. So I was like, right, I'm going to take Luke. He's got the time. He's got the money to come with me. We get on quite well. Sound. Let's do that. He absolutely carved it up. I've done 6 trips, 5 or 6 trips without catching anything. And I was just photo boy for
Borrow Sean's Captain Blanky cap.
Oh, mate. Sean, I'd get off the Euro and my phone would ring. I didn't even have to look at it. That's going to be fucking Sean, that is. You caught one? No, and he's got that laugh, hasn't he? Laughing down the phone at me.
I phoned him this morning and he didn't answer. And then I phoned him again, he didn't answer. Just 'cause he had something on yesterday, I wanted to see how he was. And he phoned me back and he said, oh, you don't sound like you're on the road, because normally Monday mornings I'm on the road going fishing. I said, no, I've got this thing on David Bowie. He went, oh, yeah, I forgot about that. I said, is that why you didn't answer the phone? He went, yeah, because I'm on my way to work. And I thought, oh, he's off fishing, I ain't answering the phone. I said, mate, you've only got a couple of weeks and you'll be in our world as well, mate, where you can pick and choose when you fish.
Yeah, he will be.
Self-employed, mate. So.
But yeah, I started off in Belgium and I was just photo boy for Luke.
Yeah.
Photographing his 30s. And then we moved up to this other section and he was showing me this picture of this fish and it's called Willie. Because they reckon it's jumped from one side to the other, but it hasn't, it's been moved. Well, he renamed it the Grey Lady, and he literally called he was going to catch this fish. £40 mirror, absolutely stonking fish. I had to photograph that for him. Gone up the other end, he's pulled out some lovely, this big dustbin lid of a £30 mirror. And then I come back from there pretty beat up on that last trip. I'd done 5, maybe 6, blanked. I was proper just done in. Because the thing was, I was coming back to England and I was catching. Mm-hmm. And it was like, and I was fishing on I was deliberately
driving
fishing.
you mad, doesn't it?
Driving me out the wall. I was deliberately fishing. I was like, oh no, it's not getting to me. Like, go home. Just, yeah, it really got to me.
18 months of blanking, mate. I did 18 months of blanking on white swan.
But from that, you learn how, like, Sean hasn't accepted the blank, has he?
No.
He doesn't know how to learn from the blank.
Part of the journey.
Yeah.
I keep saying it all the time, mate. Carp fishing is a journey, not a destination.
Yeah.
I never want to get to the end of it. When I'm at a lake and I kind of get to the point where it becomes easy to catch the fish and I know the routines, I know what time, I can sit there and go, I'm going to get up at 6:30 in the morning because I know at 7 o'clock that Ryan rod's going to go off. I'm done.
It was like that at Island. It got to the point when I was fishing on Island that I'd drop in, I wouldn't leave the house. Like, instead of doing the overnighters like all the other boys, I'd just rock up at 4:30 in the morning. All I'd bring with me was 2 rods, a chair to sit on, and my brew kit. I'll get the bruise on. I wouldn't even put the rods out. I'd already, because I was fishing pre-baited spots, the rod would go out at probably 5:45, and I knew by 7:30 I'd have one. Yeah, and I'd go to work.
Yeah.
Didn't have to do any of it. But then it got a little bit boring.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've been photo boy in Belgium, done all of this. I'm coming home, I'm catching fish. I'm fishing. It's not like I'm going to like Newbon and easy places to fish. I was fishing over in Racks, trying to stay on like the trickier ponds, and I was catching. So I knew stuff was working.
Racks are pressure water, mate. They're not easy.
No, they're not.
Not easy lakes, mate.
No, they're not. And it's deep, it's snaggy, there's multitudes, it's weedy. It's not a runs water by any stretch of the imagination. So I knew I was going to catch. We've gone back and I've caught that fish, Willie. I've got there on, we've like rocked up on like whatever it is, like a Thursday night. We've gone to see a couple of the Belgian lads we knew were fishing down there, had a couple of beers with them and all the rest of it, gone up the other end. I've had 2 fish within like half an hour of being there. And I was like, this is game on, this is. I'm going to catch something special. And I caught Willie in the morning, caught it, and it was a bit heavier than what Luke had it. I think it was rocking 41. That matey boy from Nash, you know, the one who likes dancing with the curly hair, Jacob.
No, I don't know.
He did a video on it.
Okay.
You can go and see the video of it. Apparently it's dead now, but I don't know if that's the local boys just lying to me. But anyway, I caught it, absolutely buzzing my tits off with it, like jumping around all over the place. So I'm like, there's no point fishing this section anymore. I've caught the biggest one. You've caught the biggest one. What are we doing here? And we knew they were all down the other end. It was that time of year. We knew where they were. I've gone up the other end. I've caught the biggest one in the other section the following morning. I'm jumping around all over the place. I've sent the photos to Sean, who sent them to you. Holiday fish.
Yeah.
That's all I get. Holiday fish. Back to back, Belgium Canal, 40-pounders.
Holiday fish.
Holiday fish.
Yeah. Holiday pop-ups.
That's where the holiday pop-ups came from. So I'd done you this really nice video. I'm like on the side of this canal, and I'm like, these are the absolute winners. Like, they should be renamed holiday pop-ups. And you got ratty. You were like, I thought he was going to be posted up on Facebook for you. Like, I've done him a right favour. There was that one, the last fish I had in Belgium I actually caught on these. We went to the Kurt's private lake. He's got access to this lake. It's like 30 acres or something. It's like 5 lads that are allowed to fish it. He let me guess it this one time. And I stalked one out the edge on these. Wasn't the biggest fish in the world. You did put that one on social media and didn't call it a holiday pop-up.
Oh, well. I might have needed the photos by then.
Yeah, you might have, you might have done. But yeah, there is some, like, the love that goes into this bait is next level.
If I didn't have the love for it, I wouldn't do it. And that's the truth, mate. It's all come from my own fishing. You know what I mean? It's all my own ideas of how I want baits to react, how I want fish to react to baits, and what I want. The slab liquids is a prime example of that.
What's so special about the slab liquids?
It's called slab. Sinks like a brick. I'm not joking. Just feel the weight of that pot.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's so dense, mate. The idea being is, so I wanted.
Oh God, it's the Super G.
Yeah, it's a nice one. There's only one worse than that though.
Makes you instantly dribble.
There's only one worse than that, and that's the worm. So this
Let's have a look.
So this contains hydrolyzed worm.
Do you ever fish like chop up worms?
Yeah, I've done that before. Yeah.
I feel guilty chopping them up.
Yeah, I've done it before. I bought a load this winter from Willie's worms, but I never used them actually. They end up dying.
Well, that's not too bad.
No, see, it lingers, mate. Like, if you get it on your hands, it really like just stays around for a long time.
There's actual chopped up worm.
Yeah, it's hydrolyzed worm in there. Yeah, hydrolyzed worm extract. Yeah.
It's that garlic one, man. It gets you like right in the jaw, and it's
So the slab liquids, like I say, they're called slab. Sinks like a brick. They're really, really dense. They're really, really thick. Super heavy, and they literally sink to the bottom. I did a lot.
You coating your boilies in this, generally in the bucket.
You can coat your baits in it. If you're fishing PVA bags, literally just get a big blob of it and put a blob in the bottom. When the bag melts, there'll be a blob, and it just literally just keeps breaking open. I've done quite a few open days on different lakes and shop open days and stuff. And this is the one product that everybody comes to see, and they just cannot believe what it does. Honestly, and I show
them rigged up in fish tanks. Have you?
Yeah. I've got tanks, and I do tank testing, and I show them like a breakdown rate of a pop up, and I can make a pop up, one of these pop ups, sink without any weight on by soaking one of these in this.
For how long?
Just glug it in there, and I've got a video. It's on one of. I don't think it's on there. It's on the social media page, but literally one of the guys did it. he basically he glugged the pop up. He didn't believe it would happen.
Do you know where it is?
Oh mate, I wouldn't have videos. Have a look. There's a lot on there, mate. There's a lot of videos.
I've got one of those bucket hats. Shout at the bucket hat.
That's the pina colada launch.
Standing out, our hook baits are crafted with the ultimate care, max attract.
It might be on the mate. It might even be on the TikTok page or on the Instagram page. I'm not sure, but there's a video somewhere anyway. And basically, he didn't believe me. This guy didn't believe me, and I said to him, well, "Go home and do it." And he actually did it. And he messaged me, and he was like, "Wow, I've never seen." So what happens is he glugs the pop up. He pushes the pop up to the bottom of this, pulls it out, so it's covered in it, and he drops it in a bowl of water, and it sinks like a brick to the bottom. And then what you watch happen is this drops off. This literally falls to the bottom. And once this will all fall into the bottom, the popper goes pop.
So what's the difference between this and something like Corda Goo?
That's what Corda Goo is, water based, and it's got a drain cleaning fluid in it, as far as I'm aware. Don't quote me on that though. This is all food based, so this has got it's a food based liquid basically. Is
this to work along with like the Prince? Because obviously Goo was like probably the first mainstream one to come out, wasn't it? But they're putting a lot of that onto their pop-ups, aren't they? They're not, because they use a lot of the. Okay, I probably should have worded it different. What's the difference between this and the mainline smart liquids?
I don't know much about the smart liquids. The density of smart liquids is certainly very, very heavy. So I don't know, but I don't know what the makeup of it is. I'm told it contains a high level of fats.
Because this you use
that could be suets. I don't know. So mine contains a high level fish protein liquid. The enzyme, which is what we use in a lot of the products, which are developed, and then obviously the flavour package. So that's the mulberry fizz. So that's the one that goes with I mean, mate, just work your way through them and have a smell of them, and honestly you'll be like the Pro Spice, the one you really like, the pinky bait.
I feel like I need to blow my nose to clear it out. It's like wine tasting. Oh, that smells like it's got aniseed in it or something. What is that?
It's just the same flavour package, mate.
Is there not aniseed in that?
No.
Smells aniseedy. Yeah, it smells aniseedy, that one. I'm instantly flushed.
That's the fruit salad.
Oh yeah, hit me up with this.
Sweet as well, aren't they, to taste?
That's really tasty.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a bit of, you can smell like the back end of fish in there still.
Yeah. So you got the fish protein liquid in there as well.
Do they all have the same fish?
The base of them is all the same. Yeah.
With another one.
So the base is all the same, and then we build from the base up.
Mulberry fizz. That is like sherbety, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't have like the fish, that back end. Oh no, it's still there, but you can't taste it.
No, because the. Do
you want to try some?
Because the mulberry and the fizz. I'm not going to tell you what the fizz bit is, but the actual fizz part of it. That one there is just, mate. You can pour it over your cornflakes. You can pour it over whatever. You just fizz it on yourself.
I got this all over.
Yeah.
My hands in when we were in Belgium.
So nice, so sweet. It's amazing, isn't it?
That is like
next level, isn't it?
Yeah. That I it's like a proper out the bag sweet of some description. Yeah. You wouldn't think that that's a bait for fishing.
The bait world comes from the confectionery world. A lot of stuff comes from the confectionery world. That's...
That pina colada is ridiculous. What we got here, rancho nut.
Yeah, I saved the worst one till last. So you get the banana will come through.
Yeah.
There. And then just get the hint of the chocolate in the background. It's not as strong.
That pina colada, mate.
So this is the Devon cream tea. So I do every bait has a pop up goes with it, or wafters and hard hookers or whatever. But I do 3 standalone baits as well. So one of them is called the DCT, Devon cream tea. So
is that in a range of
no, it's not a bait. It's just literally pop ups, wafters, and a
Where is it
slab.
on the pop-ups?
So it's there, the red ones, yeah. So that's Devon cream tea.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can really smell that strawberry coming through.
Yeah. So there's a strawberry oil in there.
Sell a lot.
Yeah, do you know what? It's fits and starts. I mean, like I've got one guy. It literally all he buys, and it's funny. I can bring out a new bait, and some people just literally will only buy what they've always bought. I can bring out a new bait, and some people will go and buy it straight away and get on that. They'll chop and change.
When I was fishing a clay spot on a particular lake, I always used to fish a red or an orange pop up. I was fully convinced it stood out different on that clay.
So, and that's the Devon cream tea. So that's strawberry oil, strawberry flavour, strawberry enhancer powder, condensed milk.
Just giving it a prod, you can feel how thick it is.
Yeah.
It's like your kids get those slime.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That's all right, that innit? I can't believe how thick that is.
So if you take the lid off and put it in a PVA bag, you get like a big blob.
Whoa, look at that. That's ridiculous.
But if you use it through the squirty lid, you can you can make it like a bit thinner. Do you know what I mean? If you literally just take the lid off and put a big blob, and that's your favourite, mate. That's a pro fish.
I'll take one for the team. That's ridiculous.
He's still at it, mate. It's not that offensive when you taste it, though.
It's like somewhere between, like some kebab, which has had a load of garlic mayo over the top of it. I'm not too sure.
Maybe I'll make that one next week, mate. The garlic kebab.
I can't believe I tried that. But it's really good.
So then that's all the slab liquids. And then the other one we do, which is the enzyme liquid. So this is just built around the fish protein liquid and the enzyme, basically.
So what would you do with that?
Again, mate, you can soak your boilies in it, you can soak your pop-ups in it, you can literally pour it over your pellet, you can put it in PVA bag.
What is the difference between the two of them? Why would you have both?
So this one is more water soluble, so this will disperse through the layers more, lift up and move along the lake bed. That will literally just stay there, mate, until fish start getting in there. I really wish I had the videos for it, because honestly, you watch what happens. Scott, again, mate, he put a video up basically of a fish interacting with the liquid, if you like, and you just see the smoke coming off it and the plumes, and it's just phenomenal. It just draws everything into that little area. Whereas this one is designed more to pull fish from a wider area.
So if you were like spodding over stuff in deeper water, something like that.
Yeah, and again, that's what I mean.
Yeah, you can just see the difference. Like this stuff doesn't move.
Yeah.
You can see the pores.
But even the bottles themselves way different. You know what I mean? You could literally put on a set of scales, one would be quite a lot heavier than another one.
It smells more. What's the word I'm looking for? More concentrated.
Yeah.
More of a that's. I don't know how to describe it. I'm no wordsmith.
Wordsworth.
Wordsmith. But, so you could use these, like if you're putting a bit of lake water in your boilies to soften them down or something.
One of the things that it was used for last year, no, the year before now, actually, unbelievably. I had two guys fishing a lake up in Reading on a state lake, and they were going to zig fish it all winter. Never been zig fished before, as long as they knew.
Zig fishing.
And they zig fished, and they did really, really well. Kept it all quiet, but they caught a lot of fish. And then Ben, who's the guy up here, my mate Ben, exceptionally good angler, lovely guy.
The one on the right?
The one on the right, yeah.
Is that a set of wafty trousers he's got on there?
It might be, mate. Yeah, it might be before I made them, so before I did the tracker bottoms. But that's the retro plum jacket I was on about as well. Yeah, so he was fishing with Ballard, his mate there, at that venue, actually, which is that photograph was taken at Hawcott. And they went up to Hawcott in the winter, and he was zig fishing on Hawcott using the Pro Spice slab liquid. And they were only fishing probably 30 yards apart. I think he had 3 that weekend, and he had none. And he wasn't using it, and he was.
Well, was he soaking the foam in that?
Yeah, basically leaving them in to basically make all the foam and the rigs and the hooks and everything else all ready made up, and just leave them in there all winter, all summer. So yeah.
So what about this then?
So one of my favourite products, mate.
I really like this because you brought one out. You had this absolutely ages ago, didn't you? It was.
So I do 2 variants now. I do one that goes with the Super G bait and one that goes with the Super G Pro, as we call it, which goes with the Pro Fish bait, hence Pro. Difference being is that's got the flavour compounds of it, of the Super G bait, and that's got the flavour compounds of the Pro Fish, which is the spicy sausage, the black pepper oil.
I was mixing this in with my mate's stuff, who does all like. He's got this thing called G-Buzz.
Yeah.
And he's got another one called. Oh God, I should know this. I preferred the G-Buzz, but I was putting this stuff into it, and it was like the ultimate preserver. This stuff, it was you'd really mix it in there, and I'd really.
My personal fishing is giving me something away here. What I do is if I'm fishing on a Monday or a Tuesday, on a Thursday or a Friday, I'll take 5 kilo bait, whatever I'm going to do, and I'll start loading it up in a bucket with that 2 or 3 days beforehand. So I literally just put it in a bucket, mate. Just chuck that over the top and just shake it all up and just leave it, and I leave it out in the sun. I let the sun penetrate into the bait and I let it work its magic. The enzyme starts to heat up and it literally penetrates in the bait. And then all I do when I get to the lake is I make sure the lid's on properly and I turn the bucket upside down so all the oil goes back through the bait that's left at the bottom. And you look at it and you go, wow, you just know that's going to happen. And then I put it out in the lake and I spot it out and you get a nice big flat spot.
Yeah, it slicks off, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's you get a nice big slick and a big flat spot come off. And I just leave it. And then I know when fish are on me because I just start watching the flat spots coming back up again. It just gets bigger and bigger. And I'm like, I'm going to run in a minute and off it goes. It's such a good visual a point of seeing when fish are physically in the swim and you're thinking, I should be getting a run now. And then it's happened before. I've had a flat spot come up over me, and I've had a take, or I've had a flat spot come over me. I've not had a take, and I think that's not right, and I've reeled it in, and it's like a freaking roach about that big on your hook or something, like bastard, done me at bright time, like you know what I mean.
I've got the original, like the stuff that you gave me didn't even have the stickers on it.
No,
probably the earliest. Yeah. I've still got. I think I bought some off of you. I think I bought like 2 or 3 things of it. I've still got one kicking away. Yeah. It's every time I have to go into the office, open it up, I'm like, what?
Yeah. So the only other 2 oils I do is the bancho nut oil and the pina colada oil. So they're.
Why are they in smaller ones than these?
Because nut oils are really, really expensive to make and manufacture. They're 20 quid basically for that bottle for a litre, and that'll last a long. You don't need loads. A little bit goes a long way. But nut oils are really expensive, mate. So that's $14.99 for a 500ml bottle, which isn't, still not bad value compared to when you think for 115ml of that product you mentioned before is the same price, and you're getting 500ml. So when you look at it that way, and that will last you a lot longer. And again, exactly the same principle with this. You can soak your baits in it like 40 hours before you go. So put the pina colada or the bancho nut, soak it up, get it glugged right up.
Did you do the pina colada in this because it had just been so popular?
Yeah, people asked me for it, mate. That was it. I've got a couple of little special things coming out later on. I've just been done now actually because people kept asking me for it. So I kind of listened to the feedback and that was it really. So I just took this was something that people wanted last year. Year before I started doing this one. Summertime and springtime when they're fish on the surface. So the absolutely perfect surface hook bait is the bancho nut pop-ups.
Looks like a dog biscuit.
Because it looks like a dog biscuit. So all they do is just square them off a little bit and then fish in them. But what they were doing was they were soaking their dog biscuits and their hook baits in the bancho nut oil. So obviously when you put them out there, you get a nice big flat spot and a nice big flat trail and all that attraction and the fish coming in and eating them. So works really, really well as a surface bait on its own right. So
the spicy sausage Super G Pro is that's naughty.
Yeah.
That's naughty. So that's the bait.
Yeah.
And then obviously you've got the clothing. Where did the clothing come from? Just a merch off the side?
It's one of them sort of weird situations.
You can see me repping.
Yeah.
Some of it. This is a prototype coat. Did you make it?
No, that was the only one. That's the only one.
It's warm because I'm roasting.
Yeah. And the reason why I'm in a t-shirt and you're in a coat. But yeah, so I wanted somebody to make me some hoodies and t-shirts and caps for the brand, obviously. And
is this what took its place? The smock instead of this. Did you go?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, because to be honest, with the value-wise, they're fairly comparable in price and production.
In camera. Yeah. How much is one of these?
70 quid.
How waterproof is it?
100% waterproof.
100% waterproof.
Yeah, they're waterproof.
Does it like bead off of it?
Yeah. I do the salopettes that go with it as well. So that's a new thing that I did this winter.
Sean was telling me about your salopettes.
Yeah.
I am now a salopette wearer on the tuna boat.
Right. So these salopettes come about from my own fishing. Little funny story.
Oh, they are. It's a proper waterproof zip.
Yeah, waterproof zips, mate. Yeah.
That I really like.
Yeah.
It's just super handy.
Put your phone in.
Yeah.
I've been out in the water with my waders on with that on and had a load of stuff down there and like you say, catty or whatever. So They're really good, mate.
It's not very heavy though,
No,
is
but
it?
that's what I wanted. I was sick and tired of buying products that's just too heavy to walk around in the winter. You're sweating them too much. I'm ex-military, so I know how to layer up properly, and that's the idea. You trap the warm air between the layers rather than just keep putting on one big jacket. And I'm just not comfortable in that amount of clothing. It's just too heavy. But I had a set of salopettes which I bought years and years, 20 odd years ago, which were made by Aqua. There's zips at the side as well if you need to undo them. Could fit that.
It's a good fit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could quite happily.
It's a sort of jacket. Again, making them generic. You don't have to be fishing. You can put it on to walk the dog. You can put it on to go down a pub for a beer. You know what I mean?
You can fit some bait in there.
Yeah.
On my phone's out there, but.
But yeah, so I had a set of salopettes which I'd had for donkey's years, and they'd fallen apart. My mother-in-law had sewn them up together.
I
And,
like how tight that is on the sleeves.
yeah, you don't want water getting down there, do you? Especially if you're out there.
There's so many of them. They don't do them that tight. They've got like the pullover straps to make them tighter.
So I had this set of salopettes, and I had them for years, and they were made by Aqua, and they were fantastic. But I couldn't find a replacement for them, and so I thought I'm going to get them made. So I gave them my design idea, and that's what we went with, and off we went. So they're nice and lightweight, full length zips at the bottom and at the sides.
Again, they're not too heavy.
No, not heavy, so you can wear a pair of tracksuit bottoms underneath them. Straps are all branded as well, so they look
They're
nice.
legit, aren't they?
Yeah, good mate. Yeah, they're good. And again, 70 quid. You look at the cheapest set of salopettes out there now, probably about 130, 140 quid.
I don't know what the 40s ones are, but they're not cheap.
No, exactly. So for 140 quid, you got a whole suit. It wasn't about trying to make loads and loads of money out of them. It was about bringing a quality product out there that's reasonable and
Fully waterproof.
fully waterproof. Yeah, exactly. But 140 quid for a suit. You rip the
yeah,
arse out of it, you just go and buy another one. It's not.
You pay that for a set of salopettes.
Exactly.
I've got some salty crew ones I use on the boat, and I think they were about that price for one set.
So
You've got the hoodies.
yeah, you got the hoodies. That one you've got there, and then.
I'll tell you what, on hoodies, the first thing I always check, Thinking Anglers do one, and it's got the pocket inside the pocket.
Okay.
Have you seen them?
No.
Oh, mate, they're so handy. You can like wedge your phone inside of it. So when you're walking around in up and down trees, nothing can slide out the side.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
There you go. Put more royalties.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Again, it's not too heavy, is it? It's a well wearable.
It's heavy enough. I mean, they're heavy enough, but they're not too heavy.
Got a nice lining to them as well.
And then I do the Max the Track one, which is just a black one with the X on the front, just tying it all in.
Do you sell quite a bit of clothing?
Yeah, do all right, mate. I mean, this time of year it slows down, obviously. I sold a lot of these teddy bear fleeces.
Do you not do shorts?
Yeah, I got shorts. I got zip-off trousers. I got socks. I got towels. I do everything, mate. Anything and everything I can.
You do hand towels?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have a conversation with you about that afterwards.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's like
Do you know what I do? Mate, do you know what I do that in the winter? I put my pillow inside it. Literally.
You put your pecker inside
I
it.
put my pillow, only just fits. But I put my pillow inside it. It's the softest. Lovely, isn't it?
That's ridiculous.
Lovely, isn't it?
I would feel a bit gay in it. I'm not going to lie.
Well,
But
you're warm in it. I tell you that for nothing. They're really, really warm. Yeah.
that's ridiculous. We've
Soft.
got a rug at home like this,
Yeah.
like a teddy bear rug or something. Well, it was. The dogs have wrecked it, but God, that's crazy.
Mega warm, really warm.
Oh, I like the inside as well.
Yeah. The problem is if you have the teddy bear fleece on the inside, they're really hard to get off. Especially in like winter time when you're trying to
you'll
get wet or
stick a
something.
bit,
Yeah, get
yeah,
stick. By having that different interior.
How much is one of these?
50.
That's cheap, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm not trying.
That's cheap. How much are these? You say?
70. Yeah, I'm not trying to make a million there, mate. I'm trying to support the company and yeah.
That's crazy cheap for what these are.
That's a towel there. And again, a lot of towels that you get are too small. So I want an oversized towel. Get pissed off with little tiny towel. That's no use.
Yeah, yeah. You need them like.
So these are my towels, and they're like twice the size of my normal towel. Proper towel.
How much do they go out?
Tenner. 10 quid.
proper embroidery as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. It's all done. Yeah.
That's a proper hand towel.
Yeah.
You've got loads of. You can just keep working your way through it,
Yeah.
can't you? I used to my rat saws used to eat mine because I used to hang them over the corner of my barrow. Get up in the morning, the corners are gone, and they just slowly work their way through them. I don't think that like the ESP towel is probably the biggest towel, and that's still nowhere near the size
It's
of
not.
that.
I'm wanting them oversized because, especially like your spodding and stuff like that. What I do in mine, I put it through the handle of the bucket, and then I ain't got to keep trying to bend it down. I just wipe my hand on it all the time. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I've always got a couple of them.
It's like it's a mini bathroom
Yeah,
towel.
it is. Yeah, yeah.
I know somebody who wants to bring these into their own range.
Okay,
We'll have a conversation.
Yeah,
about
sure.
that later.
And then one of the latest things I've done. This is the prototype one, so I've pulled it to pieces and gone back. We're going to change the zips and make them a bit heavier duty and stuff. But this is the new.
Is this your first bit of luggage you're going to be doing?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so this is the bait bag. But basically, again, looking at my own fishing and how I fish, in the winter time I do what I call one bucket fishing. So I only take one bucket with me because I don't want to carry loads of shit. If I want to move quick, it's cold and miserable, and I want to move. So this basically was. I measured it all and got all the measurements. So this fits into a 17-litre bucket, which is the same size as what the quarter buckets are, which you can get the inserts into the plastic inserts.
Reef Monkey do them as well, don't
Yeah,
they? Same principle in those
Same
buckets.
thing. So the idea being is that this slides down one side, and then your two things on the other with your bait in and whatever you're going to put in there, glugs, pop-ups, whatever. But so basically the idea with this is you can get 6 pots of pop. You can get 18 pots of pop-ups in if you're that way inclined, but 6 pots of pop-ups in there, put your PVA in the middle there, and then on this side you can put a little bag in there, which I'm going to have made to go inside. It'll be a split bag with your leads in and your baiting needle and stuff like
So
that.
it's basically going to be your first modular system.
Yeah, so basically everything just fits in one bag, nice and easy, nice and simple. It's heavy duty, everything's really well made, all double stitched. Pocket on the outside, I'm going to have a pocket on the inside as well.
You could do loads of that though. You could literally have alarms in there.
Exactly. As a modular bag, they work on different sort of levels. So, but that's just the first sort of something I wanted for my own fishing because I want to keep everything nice. I'm a bit of a freak when it comes to stuff like that. I want to keep it nice and neat and tidy. So I want, and again, if I'm fishing, I want to go like that and pick up a baiting needle. I want to go like that and pick up. I want to have everything it is all the time.
So Dave takes the absolute. My right hand guy that helps me with removals and storage and stuff. He's like, whenever I go, like, you go into your car, there's stuff everywhere. Go in your office, there's stuff everywhere. He goes, you go to your fishing kit, and it's exactly where everything is. Everything's got a home. But I could go. I love my Thinking Anglers rucksack.
Yeah, I've got the same one.
Love my Thinking Anglers.
I've got all the Thinking Anglers luggage. It's what I use.
Yeah. All mine is the unhooking mat, the rucksack. Like they make
the little food bag, the rucksack. I got the little carry-all.
Yeah, they brought out that little tiny one as well, which is
perfect
to put some bait in. I even like their little zip-up pouches and stuff. I've got
So
one for leads.
the next thing I'm looking at making is a little call bag, basically, which is going to be sort of long and flat, which fits under your bed chair, which you can keep 5 key of bait in. So I'm looking at doing them like sort of that big, similar, same sort of setup as that.
Bring out a man bag, will you?
I can do them. Yeah, I can do them tomorrow.
So, like Nash obviously brought out did the man bag range. I now have a different man bag, but that Mark 1 of the Nash man bag, you could get an what's down from A4, A5, A3, A5.
A5.
I could get an A5 notebook in there. I could get a couple of pens. I used to, because I was always on the phone with work. It was my little work bag.
Yeah.
And I could get my phone in there, I had a battery charger in there, a couple of cables.
Mate, I can get
wicked.
I can import
bags.
anything, mate. I can do sunglasses. I can do Polaroids. I can do. Literally, I can see this side of the business expanding probably quicker than this. If I'm honest with you, I think once you get to a level of saturation with, you can't just keep bringing out new baits all the time. You know what I mean? You kind of get to the point where it's there, and I feel like I'm not. I feel like I have got quite a few things in the pipeline for the bait for next year. I've got a real special collaboration next year, which I've been invited to do. Which
Who's
will
that
be.
with?
I'm not going to say. I'm not, mate.
It's fine. I've got to ask, haven't I?
Yeah,
It's my
he
job.
literally phoned me last night and said, "Right, how's this sound?" And I went, "Amazing." And it goes back to my deep roots in Essex. So, there's a real good connection there between me and the guy. We're going to do something next year. So,
I really like that.
yeah, it's cool.
I
Isn't
think that's a great product.
it? Yeah.
But you're right about the saturation with some of the carp stuff because
And this market's ridiculous. I mean, every week.
even the terminal tackle stuff. When I was
Yeah.
sat there fishing full time, I was like, I'd love to have something going on in the carp market.
Yeah.
You know, just my business brain running. But what am I going to do? A beanie hat, a leg clip, a mug. You know, I don't know anything about this, so I couldn't even touch them.
I didn't want to be just another bait company, setting up just another bait company. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do something different. I wanted to bring out different products based on my own experience of 35, 40 years of carp fishing. And I'm almost, like I say, I'm stood there at 6 o'clock this morning, you know, making liquids, and I'm almost that 8-year-old kid in my dad's kitchen again. You know what I mean? That hasn't left me. You know what I mean? From that day, that desire to produce something that. It's no better feeling when I go out there now and I see people coming back the other way, all the catch reports, mate. Guys going to Italy and catching massive 70, 80 pound fish. Guys going to France and catching 70 pound fish. Guys going to Belgium, you know, guys in the UK catching their first 20,
Did you
their
call
first
theirs
30.
holiday carp?
No, I didn't, mate.
Well,
I said congratulations. what an amazing feat.
Brilliant.
But yeah, you know, I get the real buzz out of that, you know, and I kind of, I feel more like...
I'm getting hot in this coat.
I feel, yeah, warm, one day. I feel like I've really turned a corner this year, and I feel like I'm kind of getting there now with people starting to understand what I'm about and what the bait's about and what I'm trying to achieve and what I'm trying to do. And
That is a warm coat.
that's just a t-shirt underneath. That's the new axe I just bought out now.
You haven't got the Carlin bit of
No,
carp inside it.
turn it around, might have it the other way around. The other side. See?
He makes great bait, but drinks crap lager.
That's nothing to do with me. That's from Stan. That's how they come from, Stan.
Stan in Arab Stan.
No, Pakistan.
Yeah, Pakistan, yeah. They're nice hats, well, he drinks crap lager. Yeah, they're nice. These are truckers.
Yeah, truckers, yeah. You got the 6-panel cap, which is what you got on your head now, and then you got the trucker cap, which is that one there.
My missus turned around to me the other day. She said, I think you look good with a backwards baseball cap on. So I'm 43.
So what? Wear it well. Yeah, she's right, you do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Problem is the front of my head's going bald, so I get a bald spot sticking through the middle.
Again, though, I mean, like, certain caps don't suit me, so I needed to make sure that I had a cap that looked good on me, do you know what I mean?
Well, it doesn't.
Oh, thanks, mate.
There you go, I'll go backwards. I like the one with the camo on the front.
Yeah, yeah. The same as the bucket hat's the same as them. And the other ones we do is the...
You bringing out that gilet?
Say again?
You bringing out the gilet?
The gilet's already out, mate. Yeah, they're already out, mate. Yeah. Yeah, they're already out, mate. Yeah.
I like this camo.
Yeah, it's different, isn't it?
Yeah, it is different.
I've got a friend of mine who's got a clothing company for larger people, and they've done a jacket in that. And it's really nice, actually.
What, from Giacomo?
No.
My neck does disappear in it, apparently.
That's not a bad thing. But again, that was like the early version, so like the newer ones will just have the X on the front probably, and then maybe like the little logo on the back here somewhere. So
Are they out, are they? Or they
no, it's going to be this year, mate. I'll do them again for the autumn, like, you know. So I normally sort of, it takes like 6 to 8 weeks to get my orders put through, so I normally sort of start looking at the winter stuff probably towards the end of this month or so.
Do I see a beanie?
Yeah, the knitted ones, yeah. So,
I've never liked a knobbly topped hat. I was never much of a it's like you skinned the squirrel, isn't it?
again, I kind of I spent a bit of time looking for the right hat because I don't like when your head gets itchy all the time. So it
Yeah,
does
you do. You sit there just going like this all the time.
I get no head itch for these at all. I live in mine, mate. I have taken the bobble off mine, but
See, I lived in subsurface hats. All the guys in subsurface hats. I had every single one.
Yeah.
And then I like the monkey kind of one. Like you've got that red one. They brought out a blue, a red, a mustard yellow, and stuff like that.
Cherry black and the green. That's grenade green. Midnight
Grenade
black.
green.
Grenade green.
Grenade green. We might have to nick that for one of the squids.
Yeah, grenade
We went with green goblin.
Grenade green. Midnight black and cherry red.
We've got green goblin and we've got green goblin and we've got green machines, but that's a brand already. The Hulks. We went with the Hulks.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then we saw somebody else start using it, didn't we? Just after we named all the squids, but you know, what is it? Copying's the biggest form of flattery. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'll take it all day long.
Yeah.
And I'll market.
Mate, I know it says with social media though. I put a post up and then a day later someone else is doing it, like, you know, or something very similar.
This is where this came from.
Yeah.
I had the conversation with you when I phoned you up. I was like, I'm fed up with putting a post up,
Yeah.
and I get a very similar post
Yeah.
when we've spent a fortune on
So
photography.
we did a post on. Sean's very good at this stuff, but he did a post basically. So he basically got a curry, like a big pot of curry, and the garlic bulbs and all this else. And he did a video shoot of it, and he put all the boilies around it and the glugs, and he poured it over the top. So it looked like a dinner basically with all the really cool, really cool. And he did the same one for like the fruit salad. Got a load of fruit and put a load of fruit salad drizzle over the top of it all. Looked really cool. A week later, another company put out something so similar. It was like, well, you literally just picked up what I've done and just done the same. Yeah, it was like, I thought that was really, and it's so hard to try and get ahead of the game in that situation.
Me and Aaron have massive meetings about
Yeah.
it. You know, it's one of our, before you came in, we're both sat here on the laptops,
Yeah.
looking at, I won't go into some of it, but like we're looking at all this different data and stuff.
Yeah.
How can we change this? You know, what are we going to slightly change? But like this is where the podcast came from. I was fed up of going round in circles with other people, post for post. I don't like social media anyway. So
No, I'm no fan. That's why I've got guys that do all that stuff for me because it's not where I want to be.
like a G, don't I?
You look like you work in a dock now. And then the one we do.
They're nice hats though.
Yeah, they're warm, aren't they? That's the new one we do with the. Down for this winter.
What is the black called?
Midnight black.
Midnight black. Oh, that's a different sort of material.
Yeah, completely different. Yeah.
Oh, that one's tight.
It's
Nice hat though, isn't it?
Yeah, good, isn't it?
I'd have to lose the bobble. I'm just not a bobble fan.
Do you know what? I never used to be, but the only reason I wear one now with a bobble on is when I actually wear a different one when I'm in my bivvy than when I'm doing my photos, because I've constantly catching the bobble on top of the bivvy, which when 9 times out of 10 I've got no winter skin on anything else, it stops the top of my hat getting wet. Because otherwise I've got out all the time, I end up with a wet hat where it's just got condensation off the top of your bivvy. So actually it does serve a good purpose.
Like me, no bed sheet, no ground sheet, no door, no nothing.
Mate, not if I can help it. Ashme, different story this year, mate. I had a ground sheet and everything, mate, because I'm telling you, you need it. You have to have it. It's awful. It's just mud mead.
Mudmead.
Yeah.
Well, mate, that is a pretty impressive range of stuff.
Oh, thanks, man. It means a lot.
When did you start? When did
2
you
years
launch
ago.
it? 2 years. We've got some catching up to do, mate. We have.
Mate, it means a lot coming from you, actually, because I know you've got an eye for these sort of things. So
Yeah, like that is.
I feel like I've come a long way. I made
there's
a lot
nothing here that's shit.
I made mistakes, mate, along the way, and I've lost some people. So I've had some people shit on me. People who are sort of good friends of mine have do really shit on me, but that's by the by. In the end of the day,
It just comes with it.
I've had to make
unfortunately.
some sort of business based decisions which some people didn't agree with, and so they decided that.
Tough at the top, innit?
It is, mate, but ultimately I have to protect the brand, and nothing's bigger than a brand, me included. I'm not even a brand. The brand's a brand. Nothing's as big as a brand and the name and getting it established and making it. I don't want to be, like I say, arrogant. I don't want to be like a mainstream large company. That's not what I want to do. I genuinely don't. I don't want to be sitting here going, "Oh, I made 15 million quid on my great." Not what I want to do. If it's self-supporting and supports my fishing and gives me a little bit of money along the way, I'm happy. But I want people out there using it, catching fish with it, mate, and I want the fish doing well on the back of it and water quality not getting deteriorated. That's it. Bottom line.
That's a really good ethos, though, mate, and that's not what a lot of.
I'm in a lucky position, mate.
That's no way to build a cut. That's not the right way to build
No,
a
it's
company.
that's what I said to you.
It's
If I sat in front of you with that ethos and I sat in front of you and asked you for
sitting there
money.
with my business coach and he'd just be like, well, hang on a second.
No,
like,
exactly.
These bags cost too much.
Yeah.
You know,
you're right.
How much would you say these were a kilo?
A bag, £1.50 it cost me to get that bag made and shipped. A bag.
And then what do these retail for?
£11.99.
What's the go-to off the shelf sticky or mainline? Or...
I think there's 13s, 11, 12, 13, some sort of price. I don't know. I don't look at the prices at the end of the day of everybody else's.
So if somebody wants to buy this, what shops are you in?
Paint and Tackle and Bait, which is obviously just
Next door to me,
yeah. Plymouth Angling Centre.
Yeah.
New Barn Angling Centre. Serenity Course Fishery. And Venton as well. Venton Fishery as well.
Okay.
So,
and they can obviously order from the website.
Direct from the website, mate, yeah.
Discount on bundles.
Yeah. We don't do bundles. We're different. If you want a bundle... Listen, the bottom line is, if you want cheap bait, don't come to me. And that's the bottom line. I'm not being rude. I'm not in this to make a lot of money. I'm not making a lot of money. But if you want cheap bait, there's plenty of companies out there doing that. If that's what you're about, if buying the latest bivvy and the latest set of rods and the latest reels and the latest alarms is more important to you than what you're fucking fishing with, go elsewhere. I'm not interested. And I'm not being arrogant.
No, mate, it's well said.
I'm not being arrogant. I'm not being rude. If you want to sit there all day long looking at £5,000 worth of kit on a bank, blanking your cock off, whilst fishing with the latest bait from wherever else, carry on. Carry on. As long as you're happy in your fishing, carry on. But if you want a decent quality food, quality bait, and you want to go out there and you want to increase your catch rate and you want to understand what this is about, give us a look. That's all I'm asking. Just give us a look.
I think that's a perfect thing to end on, mate, to be honest. Blanking your cock off. Mate, I really appreciate that. That was great fun. So check out the website, Max Attracts Baits. You're on Facebook, Max Attracts Baits. Insta, TikTok.
Yeah.
That's all Max Attracts Baits. Xmart, if they want to come and find the clothing, where do they find that?
As well, and it's all done through Max Attract Baits website. So mate, we may split that in the future. We may go down the route of having our own website for the clothing. But at the moment, we just got the one generic website, which we can get all through there.
How long have we been running, Aaron?
2:27.
That's a new record.
Yep.
This is the longest podcast out there now.
Oh, good.
You can tell I like carp fishing.
That shit.
Mate, I really appreciate you coming on, taking time out of your day. I've super enjoyed going through all of this.
Help yourself to whatever you want as prizes as well.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is when this one comes out, we're going to do a like and share sort of bundle thing. I'm sure we're going to bundle. See, it's just there. It's in the brand. I know you don't like it.
Grab and go.
Yeah. We're going to do something where people go and subscribe to some different platforms and stuff. We'll definitely give some stuff away. It's quality stuff. Mate, thank you for coming on.
Appreciate your time, mate.
Everyone, thank you for listening. Please remember, go subscribe to the podcast. If you could go and hit us up on YouTube, it'll be very much appreciated. We've picked up some subscribers, so it's probably under 60% now aren't subscribed. Is it still the same? So you haven't gone and subscribed like I asked you to. If you could, it'd be very much appreciated. Check out our socials. Matt, I'll see you soon.
Yeah, nice one.
Mate.
Bankside, hopefully.
Bankside one day. I'll even come to a social. I'll break my own rule and go social fishing. Thanks very much. We'll see you on the next one. Cheers.
Cheers.